Hi y'all, good morning from Sandusky, Ohio. I'm on a road trip right now, and today we're going to be fishing on Sandusky Bay, which is one of the premier channel cat fisheries in the entire United States. So we're going to be out here today going after them pesky old channel cats. Now y'all, my regular viewers, you know back home, I hate getting channel cats because, well, quite honestly, they're just small little bait stealers back home. But up here, these things get pretty daggone big. So I'm on a little Ohio road trip, and we're going to spend a morning session out here today fishing Sandusky before I move on and go after some big blues in another part of Ohio. So I'm going to bring y'all with me today, raw and uncut. This is my second time ever fishing on Sandusky. I come up here for a tournament last year, and I didn't do very good in the tournament, but I did pretty well as far as just catching fish. Caught a bunch of fish during my time up here then. So we're gonna hit it again this morning, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here at this bridge, and we're basically gonna make our way across the channel here to the other bridge, if I get my words out, dragging some baits behind us. We're actually gonna drag two baits, and we're going to suspend another bait under a balloon. So we're gonna be fishing the top of the water column and the bottom of the water column. So enough of this, let's get after it, man. Let's get to it. Bait today, boy, bait, when you're fishing up here on Sandusky, buddy, bait is easy to get. You simply just go to the grocery store and get you either some chicken or some shrimp. A lot of people up here like shrimp. Last year, I tried it, and I tried chicken, and my best fish came on chicken. So I went to the store when I got in town, and I said, I'm gonna go get me some chicken, by gosh. So that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna have slices of chicken breast, not got any Kool-Aid, garlic powder, or anything like that people oftentimes add to their chicken, just plain old chicken breast. If something splashes right there, did you see that, man? But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna get us on the move here. We're gonna troll about a half a mile an hour or so, give or take. In between these bridges, we get up here to the other bridge. We'll make a decision then. Do we want to come back the same path that we were on, or we want to take a different path? Or if we get on some fish down through here, we may very well hit the spot lock and anchor on them a while. Just depends on what the fish want and what's going on with it. I'm not married to any one particular technique today. I just want to catch some fish. So here is our dragging rig, y'all. If you're new to my channel, or if you haven't been here during my dragging session, let me see if I can get it in the sun here so y'all can see something. That is my dragging sinker. I make these. There's a link down in the video description if you want to learn how. That's on a 3-way down to an 80-pound monofilament leader. I've got a float and a rattle there above my hook, which is a 10-aught size circle hook. I could have got by with a smaller hook out here today, but this is what I had tied on, so we're rolling with it. And then we got our chicken on there, of course, and about 12 inches, 15 inches below that, we've got our Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly. So this is going to be the setup for my two dragging rigs. Now I'm going to start letting out some line on that as we move our way along here and get the other line baited. Now, my other rig is going to be different, and I'll show you it here in just a second. We're actually going to be running another type of artificial lure on our balloon rig, and we may very well pick off some other species in addition to cats today. So this rig here, exact same setup. We're gonna get it going out here. I'm not gonna run these dragging rigs too terribly far behind me. Don't really need to out here. But I'm just gonna get us headed here the direction. I'm gonna hit the course heading thing. I'm gonna do our speed control, and then I'm going to knock us down to about that 0.5. And that's what we're gonna do, man. We're just gonna cover some water. Now this rig here, folks, this one here is a little different. So like I said, it's going to have a balloon up here, which I'm about to adjust. We're going to bring this balloon up to where our first hook is probably 3 to 4 feet under the water. We're going to have a dropper rig with just a hook and a piece of chicken on it here, which I'm going to hook up now. Stick that on there. As always, I got to give the disclaimer: you're handling raw chicken, salmonella, wash your hands, don't put your hands in your mouth, yada, yada, yada. If I don't say it, people will be lecturing me in the comment box. So there's our hook on the dropper rig under the balloon. About another 2 or 3 feet below that, I've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker jig. That's a 1 ounce size. So as this pulls along, the balloon's going to suspend that piece of chicken there about 3 foot, 4 foot under the surface, and then another couple feet below that, we're going to have this jig swimming along. So who knows what we might get. If we get channel cats that are up higher in the water column, might get them on that there chicken. If we get some drum, some bass, anything else swimming through the upper part of the water column, well, guess what? We may get them on that jig. So we're going to have some options today. There are a ton of not only channel cats up here, but there's a ton of drum too. If you don't believe me, just walk the shoreline up here. You'll see them all dead all over the dang shoreline, man. It's a rough place to be living as a drum or a channel cat up here in Sandusky, man. The survival rate, I don't know, man. There's just a ton of dead. I've never seen so many dead fish in my life as when I come up here. I've said that last year, and I get up here. I thought maybe it was an anomaly last year, but just getting out here this morning and launching the kayak and just smelling the stench of dead fish everywhere and seeing them all over the ramp and stuff, I'm like, yep, this is just a common thing up here, I guess. Is a boy, a bug hit me right in the face. Did it get y'all too? Lord almighty. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna cover some water this morning. I'm gonna bring y'all with me, raw and uncut today, unedited. I'm gonna fish till about lunch today. Here's my plan. We're gonna fish a morning session out here. Gonna go till about lunch. Hold on, we gotta get this one. We're already a little bit snagged up here, ain't we? Let's give this a little slack. We'll pull right up and over. There we go. We're gonna fish till about lunch today here. And then I'm gonna go get me some lunch. And then I'm gonna drive down to Columbus, Ohio. And I'm gonna spend the next couple days fishing on Hoover Reservoir. So this is just gonna be a one morning session out here on Sandusky. Again, I ain't much on these danged old channel cats, but it's a nice novelty to do occasionally. And since I'm up in Ohio, weather was looking perfect this morning, winds are calm, it's a great day to get out here. You don't want to be out here on a real windy day as big as this place is. You get some ocean-like waves. But anyway, I'm just gonna put y'all on the chest. How long did it take? Boy, it took us 8 daggone minutes for me to flap my gums and get them baits on. But we got them on, by gosh. Chicken today, folks. Easy peasy bait source when you can come out here and fish with chicken. So I'm gonna get my shades on. It's gonna be a sunny morning out here. Temperature is actually very comfortable considering it's middle of summer here. In Ohio, you're allowed 3 rods, which is why we're running the setup we're running. I really only need these 2 dragging rigs, but I thought with as many drum, I didn't catch any drum last year, but I saw a bunch of dead ones, and I thought I'm gonna just run that. Oh, we already got one. We got one right here after this. Has he got it? I think he's got it, folks. He's got it. We're hooked up, fish number 1, man. Just like that. Well, he's gonna pull a little bit too now. Boy, that didn't take long. Hell, it took me 8 minutes to get the baits out, and we're already hooked up a minute later. That's a good sign right there, folks. I'm off my game this morning as far as getting baits in the water quickly. I had a lousy night's sleep. I don't recommend the Comfort Inn in Sandusky. I love me some Comfort Inn. It's my preferred hotel choice, no matter where I stay, but I somehow managed to find the worst one of all time here in Sandusky. So, wasn't the most restful night's sleep. I got a belly full of Fruit Loops this morning because breakfast there was a joke. But we're going with it, man. We're going with it, and we're already hooked up, and this one's pulling, buddy. We got fish number one, no skunk today. We may end up too, folks, with some, oh, look at this, he ate the fly. This one ate the fly right here, folks. He left the chicken alone and got the fly. I thought that might happen some today. This is a rig I've played around with this year. I've used these flies on the suspended rigs back home a lot the last couple years and caught a bunch of fish with them. But I've played around with it very little as far as dragging goes. But I thought today, these channel cats, this might be a good opportunity to play with this some more. And here we are, first fish we get on the fly. So, interesting, folks. And this right here ain't a bad channel cat. Bigger than anything I catch back home as far as channel cats goes. And he left our chicken on there. That was nice of him. Got a refund on that. Come on in, you old channel. Look right there, folks. All them people accuse me of manipulating the footage with them flies. You see it right there for yourself, buddy. Right in the mouth. There we go. Oh, boy, he about put it in my finger too. Did you see that? He just about did. Ornery old channel cat. These things don't like me. They don't like me because I don't like them. I talk trash about them all the time back home. This thing's actually he run that hook through his mouth twice, didn't he? You dumb fish. This is a dumb fish right here. He somehow hooked himself in the mouth twice with that thing. There we go. I ain't gonna give you no front camera time, but I mean, that ain't a bad channel cat right there. I promise you, I catch a bunch of channel cats accidental back home. That right there is bigger than any of them that I'll get, but they come a lot bigger than that up here, folks. A lot bigger than that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a 30+ inch channel cat up here at some point today. The big boat goes by. Let's let that back out. We're just gonna let out some more line. Got some more people over here fishing, looks like. I think they're maybe on anchor over there. We could have made an argument. We could have done that too. Let that out as we move along here. But our balloon, you can see our balloon there, hopefully. It's maybe 30 yards, 50 yards behind us. Not very far. Again, we're just working the top of the water column with that today. I don't know if it'll pan out or not, but I thought we might bust a drum or a bass or something with it, just for variety's sake, so we'll try it. Hey, it'll either catch fish or it won't, but we know our dragging rig's gonna catch some fish because we already got one. So, yeah, y'all, off to a good start, man. Fish number one, very quickly. But yeah, man, I come in to, we had a tournament up here. The group, the King Cat National Kayak Trail that I've been fishing with this year, they had a tournament up here this past weekend. And I ultimately decided not to come to it. The wind report was looking rough. I mean, it was looking 15, 20 miles an hour, and I was like, man, I'd like to come up here for like one day, but I don't want to come up here and fish and just get beat to death by the wind. So I ended up skipping out on the tournament, and they had a good turnout for the tournament, 20 some odd people. 5 fish took 163 inches, I think, to win. Biggest fish was 36 inches long. There was another big splash right there. Big fish, though, 36 inches long. And so they had a good event, but boy, they got beat to death with the wind. I was worried I was going to have that FOMO, like fear of missing out. That rod there was getting a little tap. But once I saw, Ryan sent me a video. He fished it. He didn't do any good. But he fished it. He sent me a video of these waves coming up all over his dang kayak. He said he had about 20 gallons of water inside his hole when he got done that day. And I said, I'm glad I didn't go. I didn't miss a damn thing. But here we are. A few days later after the tournament, we got a stretch of nice weather. And so I kind of wanted to come up and fish on Hoover Reservoir there in Columbus, because we got another tournament here coming up. That's the next tournament event. And I really like that lake. And so I said, I need to go up there and piddle around, practice a little bit. I don't know if that's a fish or if that's coming across something rough down there. Might just be coming across something a little rough. But I was like, I want to go up there and piddle around a little bit and get a little practice session in when we get some good weather. And so we had a good stretch of weather here. Now the wind report was up a little bit on Hoover this morning, but the next couple days is looking good. And so I looked up here at Sandusky, and surprisingly, the wind was fine up here today, even though it was up a little bit down there on Hoover this morning. So I said, you know what? I drove up last night. I said, I'll just spend the night up here. And here we come across something a little rough again. There we go. I said, I'll just drive up. Yeah, I drove up yesterday. I spent the night, and I said, I'll just come out here and fish this morning, and then drive down to Hoover, because it's about 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours away from here. So I said, I can come out here, fish the morning, grab me some lunch, drive to Hoover, work on getting some bait this afternoon, and see if I can't fish there the next couple days. Now, I do want to get a carp session in on Hoover, because I've heard there's some big carp and some big buffalo out there. So depending on how my bait session goes this afternoon, I'm not going to be using chicken on Hoover. I'm going to need an actual fish. But depending on how that goes, I may either carp fish in the morning possibly, or do an afternoon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I definitely want to try to go after some carp and buffalo while I'm there this time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But either way, I'm going to drive down there this afternoon, hopefully get on the water, hopefully be on the water by 3:30, 4 o'clock there today. But this morning, we're going to have us some fun here with some old channel cats, if they want to play. And we done got one to play. And look at this. I just noticed this, folks. This dang channel cat, it crapped all over the floor of the kayak right there. He doo-dooed all over me. I guess we could, here's something else we can do. We could put our live scope transducer down, couldn't we? Actually, maybe see how deep it is through here. Looks like we're 22 feet here. Let's fix this. You can see I ain't used this dang live scope since I was at Nickajack a couple weeks back, because it was still set on 100 and something feet. There's something on our screen too. I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah, so we got all kinds of fish up here, about the 10-foot mark. There's some more there, about the 20-foot mark. There's all kinds of life down through here. I don't know how well you can see that with the sun and the glare and all, but there's all kinds of life, and there's some up in the water column here too, so that balloon rig certainly got a chance of getting eaten. Yeah, we'll leave that on as we make our way along here. Again, 23 feet, about a half mile an hour. Water temp's about 74, looks like. So we'll just have that going there. All right, that's one of them things out here. A graph, if you're dragging baits, the only thing I really need out of that graph being on is just my speed, be able to monitor my speed. Otherwise, everything else kind of a novelty thing. We're going to do what we're going to do regardless of whether or not we see fish on the screen. Seeing fish on the screen ain't going to change we're not going to change anything based on what we see. So it's more of a novelty thing, but we got it. We might as well use it. That'll be the same thing when I go down there to Hoover. I'm going to be trolling and dragging baits on Hoover as well. Now, I may focus a little bit more on the balloon rig there, because last year at Hoover, that's when most of the fish I caught was on that balloon rig. Now, I don't know if it'll be the same kind of bite this year or not. We'll see. That'll be to be determined. If we see fish up in the water column, we'll certainly know, but it's one of them things. Again, it's more or less just getting out and covering water. You cover enough water, you're going to run into them. I don't know what the guys in the tournament were doing this past weekend. I would assume a lot of them were probably dragging, and I would assume a lot of them were probably anchored. I bet it would be, if you polled everybody and got the truth out of them, I bet you it would probably be a 50-50 split of who was doing what. But, had the weather been suitable, I would have probably come to it. I don't expect I would have done well. That tournament, man, it's like everybody's going to catch fish. Up here on Sandusky, you're not going to get skunked. That's one of the great things. There's so many channel cats up here. You're not going to get skunked. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at up here, you're going to catch some fish. But when you're in a tournament, you need 5 big fish. That's the challenge. And so it was like last year when I fished the tournament up here, I think I had around 150 inches in the tournament. It was about a 30-inch average on my fish. But I think I finished 12th, 15th place, something like that. It was, I was averaging 30-inch fish. Daniel won last year's, and I think he was averaging like a 32-inch fish. So it's kind of one of them things. It's who's going to get on the 33, 34-inch fish versus the 30, 32-inch fish. That's what's going to determine the winner. So you can have a good day of fishing and not do worth a diddly doo-doo in the tournament. But had the weather been good, I would have come up. I just didn't want to make the drive to come up here for 15, 20 mile an hour winds, especially in this kayak, because I've told this story recently on these unedited videos here. I damn near sank this kayak a few weeks ago back home when I got caught out in some winds. Pull that up and over. That's a little tip right there, folks. If you're dragging baits and you get snagged up like that, if you will give yourself some slack and raise it up. We got another fish right here hitting. He smacked it. Let's see if he'll come back for me. I think he's still after it. When you get snagged, if you'll give yourself some slack, raise straight up, you'll oftentimes pull right over it with these dragon sinkers that I use. I think maybe now we're just pulling through some rough stuff. Something hit that bait. We're just going through some stuff right now, though. I didn't imagine that hit, though. Something hit it. Water temp. You know what I think? I think when I stuck my transducer down in the water, it was probably still hot from the air temperature in the sun. Because now the water temp's dropped down to 68. So water temp up here may be lower than what I initially said. I think my transducer was probably still just where it'd been baking out here on the deck of the kayak. But yeah, anyway, I got myself in a situation where I just got stuck out in some high winds, going against some heavier current. Man, that was another big splash right there behind us. But anyway, when that happened, I took a bunch of water over the bow repetitively. Got a hole full of water, and man, by the time I got back to the car, like, I was in trouble. The top of the edge of my kayak was at the water level. I had so much water in the hull, and so I'm a little fearful in situations with this kayak where I'm going to be out in rough water, taking water over the bow. And you get out here in the bay, I know we're between these bridges here, we're kind of shielded a little bit. But once you get beyond the bridges, man, it is just wide open, damn near ocean-like. And so when the wind kicks up, you can get some big rollers coming. There's a fish. There's one. Okay, here we go. Fish number 2. He's going to pull a little line too, ain't he? All right, folks. Second fish of the morning. Feels pretty good right here. I'll be curious to see what this one ate. Did he go after the chicken, or did he also go after the fly? We've covered a little water here. You can see where that bridge is at there, where we started and where it is now. I don't know how far it is between these two bridges, distance-wise. I'm terrible at judging distances, but I figure we'll just go bridge to bridge and see how we do. And if we tear them up, we'll follow the same line back. If we don't, we'll pick a new line. Or if we get on a spot that's just holding a bunch of fish, we'll sit there and anchor on them. What I had done last year during the tournament was I had drag baits for a while, and then I got on them, and I sit there and just wore them out. I mean, I had 3 rods, couldn't keep a line in the water because I was on so many fish, and then they moved, and then I got back on the move. But you can stumble into some fish here. We've stumbled into something that feels pretty good right here. Still ain't got to look at him. Should be any time now, though. There's our sinker. I saw a tail. Yep, another channel. I can't see what hook he's on, though. Okay, that one's on the cut bait. So we got one on the fly, one on the cut bait. It's going to be interesting to see, too, if we don't maybe get some drum on the flies on our dragon rigs. We'll see as the morning goes on here. This is just one of them things. I'd tried some flies on my dragon rigs earlier in the year and got some blues on them. I was hoping it might increase my flathead catches on the dragging, and that didn't really work out like I'd hoped. come. Well, there he went. That one didn't want to be on camera. That one there is camera shy. And you know what? I didn't want him on this video anyhow. That's how I feel about that, by gosh. Let's grab us. I'll grab us some more chicken here. That one there got him a free chicken strip out of us, didn't he? All right. They can have all this chicken. That's what I got it for. I don't use chicken back home very often because it's just not in my opinion, it's not really a trophy class bait for blues. People catch trophy class fish with it, but it's not, anytime you got a bait in the water, you got a chance, right? Regardless of what the bait is. I mean, every year you'll read some story of some little 12-year-old girl busting a huge flathead on a piece of hot dog, on a Barbie doll Snoopy fishing rod or something. So if you got a bait in the water, you've always got a chance. But consistently, day in, day out, what's going to put trophy class fish in your boat or in your kayak or on the bank, however you're fishing? It's usually going to be a native fish from the body of water that you're fishing at. That's usually what's going to do it. So back home, you can catch a bunch of smaller fish on chicken. People that use it all the time will get some big fish with it. But again, I just prefer something more natural. Skipjack's what I'm going to prefer back home. But up here with these channel cats, man, they're really not, one thing about channel cats is they're not very particular about baits. So, I mean, you could come out here, if I had some shad or some bluegill or crappie or whatever, we would undoubtedly be catching some channel cats. But man, you can do really, what I'm getting at is up here, you can do really well on chicken or shrimp, your grocery store baits. And it's kind of nice when you go somewhere, you're out of town, you roll into town in new body of water you're not used to fishing, and you don't really know where to get bait, and you're maybe short on time. It's nice to just be able to go to the grocery store and pick you up some shrimp or chicken and be able to go out and have you a good day of fishing. So that is a nice perk of fishing in a channel cat body of water. I just don't, back home, and I don't know why it is, channel cats don't get that big back home. But y'all get water all over the lands. Y'all are good somehow. I gotta clean my glasses off. That last fish, when he was on his way out, got me good. But back home, we just don't catch big channel cats. And I don't know if it's a competition for food, that maybe they just lose out against the blues and the flatheads, so therefore they don't get as big. Is it an environmental thing that keeps them? I don't know. But either way, back home, if I throw out some cut bait, man, and I get a channel cat, they just sit down there and they peck and they chew, and the channel cats, they'll be that big when you finally do hook one. So if we had channel cats back home as big as what they got them up here, maybe I wouldn't hate them as bad. Maybe. We'll see. We'll never know, I guess. Well, it'd still be significantly smaller than the blues. But up here on Lake Erie and Sandusky Bay here, they don't have any blues. It's just channel cats and allegedly some flatheads, although nobody in our tournament last year caught any flatheads. And to my knowledge, I don't think anybody in the tournament a few days ago that they had caught any flatheads. But allegedly, there are some up here. But I think pretty much everybody in the tournament caught some fish. Like even with the crappy conditions, like everybody was able to get some fish, and most everybody had a limit, I believe. Which is saying something. I mean, oftentimes you go in a tournament that pick a body of water, you're usually going to have you'll have the winner do really well. And then you'll have some people that get a limit. But then you'll have a lot of people that either don't do any good, don't catch any fish at all, or maybe just get one fish, two fish. But a place like this, man, everybody's scoring limits. These two fish that I've got here, bigger than any channel cats I get at home, but neither one of these fish we've got would have helped us at all on tournament day up here. I see some people over here on the bank fishing too. I didn't think, with this being a weekday morning, I didn't think we'd see very many people up here. Which is another perk of coming up when I did versus coming up for the tournament. With the tournament being on a weekend, obviously, you were going to get not only a bunch of people from the tournament fishing, but you were also going to have a lot of recreational fishermen. And I'm guessing, because of the wind, I would assume most of the tournament fishermen probably fished here between the bridges to try to get some protection from the wind. And I would also assume that the recreational fishermen on the water probably also was crammed in here in this area to hide from the wind. So I bet this area was covered up with people. And man, y'all know me, I go fishing, I want the water for myself. I want to be left the hell alone. And so I had a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. But once I started seeing the pictures of the water conditions, and I was like, I didn't miss out on a damn thing. I'll just hit it at another time. And so here we are today, got the water to ourselves, flat, calm conditions. It's nice. Hopefully we're going to stumble into some more fish here, hopefully a little bit more frequently than we're getting them. I'm a little impatient today, wanting to tear some fish up. Catch me some fish this morning. Definitely going to need some lunch after the Comfort Inn experience. Let me tell you about the Comfort Inn up here, man. So typically when I travel, I usually look for a Comfort Inn. And I don't know why this is, but this has been the case for me as I've traveled throughout the country. When you find a Comfort Inn, the parking lot is usually sufficient for pulling a trailer. Because obviously if I'm going fishing, I've got my kayak and trailer, need to be able to park. A lot of hotel chains will have parking lots that are, there's somebody's fancy catfish rig right there, part of it. Got a couple rattles and a float right there. A lot of these hotel chains will have these parking lots that are not designed for trailers at all. You pull in the parking lot and they'll have these like concrete dividers between the parking spaces so you can't pull through, and there just won't be any places like double spots where you can have your trailer. It's a nightmare when you're traveling. But Comfort Inn, for whatever reason, whoever designs their parking lots, every Comfort Inn I've ever stayed at, they've done a good job. So I typically look for a Comfort Inn wherever I go. And most of the time, it's not the Ritz-Carlton, let's be real. I mean, if the Comfort Inn was a WWE wrestler, it would be a mid-card wrestler. a guy who's not a main eventer, not going to be the world heavyweight champion, but it's a person you can put out there and have some good matches with, right? Kind of like that with the Comfort Inn. It's not the Ritz-Carlton, but it's also not Tom Bodette with Motel 6. We got another little snag here. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a little slack and lift straight up and over. There we come. You know, Tom Bodette there, Motel 6, he leaves the light on for you because it keeps the roaches in the walls. So it's all the Comfort Inns I've ever been at, it's been an upgrade over places, the Roach Motels. And they've always usually got a pretty good breakfast. Because if you're going to spend $100 a night just to sleep and shower, you at least ought to feed you after they take advantage of you like that. But this one today, first off, it was really loud. I guess when people come up here to Sandusky, most people aren't coming here to fish. They're going over here to this Cedar Point amusement park place. So you got a bunch of kids running around like maniacs because it's their first time away from home apparently. So it's loud, just people going up and down the halls. Then I get settled in, lay down, go to sleep, and I'm kind of hot last night. So I get up to adjust the thermostat, or the wall, what do you call them things? The heat and air units on the wall. I get up to adjust it, and I realize, well, hell, the damn thing ain't even working. You can't get it turned on. And at this point, I'm already like, I'm settled in, you know. I don't want to go up there and try to switch rooms and all that. So I was like, hell, I guess I'll just be hot tonight. And so then I'm laying there all hot, trying to go to sleep, and the pipes start running. Like I guess somebody above me or beside me or something, every time they flush a toilet or get in the shower, like it's making the loud noise as water going through the pipes. Like, you gotta be kidding me. So I didn't sleep particularly good last night. And I thought, well, at least I'm gonna get a good breakfast out of it, because Comfort Inn always got a good breakfast. And I go out there today, and I'll be damned. First off, I wanted me some Raisin Bran. They didn't have any, so I had to settle for Fruit Loops. Then I go to get me some orange juice. Now, they don't have like normal orange juice. It's from the machine, from concentrate. Basically, it's just orange flavored water. But today, it was literally orange flavored water because it wasn't mixing properly. And I looked at it, and I'm like, man, something's wrong with this. I give it a little taste. Oh, this is awful. I poured it out. And there's 3 women there working the breakfast area. And I didn't want to be that guy. Like, I didn't want to say anything to him, but I thought, with this many people, here's a fish. Oh, he got after it. Has he still got it? There's weight on the rod tip there. I think he still got him, folks. He does. We've got him. We've got another fish. Listen, right now we're just pulling in. He ain't even fighting. I don't know what's up with this. Either he ain't very good, or he's saving his energy one. I don't know. Well, there's number 3. We're just making our way along here. Fish here, fish there. We'll accumulate some fish this morning. Hopefully accumulate a big one or 2 or 3. Well, let's see what bait this one's on. The fly or the hook. This one's on the chicken. This is a small one here. This is the smallest one yet. What do you think, Channel Cat? You gonna behave and act like somebody to get on this video, or are you gonna show out like your last friend there did and splash me and not get any camera time? This fish there, he said he'll take a little camera time. He ain't big as nothing though. That's the size I get back home that steals my baits. This one here, though, did not steal the bait. He left it on there for us, thankfully. I'm gonna try to toss this dragon rig back here. Give it a little assistance getting back there. Hopefully get our bait out a little quicker. Yeah, but anyway, I didn't want to be that guy. So I sat down with just my bowl of Fruit Loops, because I'm like, there's a bunch of people in here. Somebody gonna complain. And sure enough, I watched people go up, and one of the little women there, she comes up and looks at the machine, opens it up, gets under the counter, does something, can't fix it. And do they put an out of order sign on this thing? No, you just keep having people come into the breakfast area trying to get them some orange juice and can't get it because it's just nothing but water. And there was apple juice on there too, but it was also messed up. Like it just wasn't, I guess it wasn't calibrated right or something. But yeah, they didn't put an out of order sign, nothing. So we just didn't have nothing to drink this morning except the milk from your cereal bowl. But yeah, so this is probably easily the worst Comfort Inn that I've ever stayed at. And I've historically had really good experiences with the Comfort Inn. Now, the parking lot was very accommodating for me and the trailer. There were some school buses there. I guess all them kids going to Cedar Point today was probably like some youth group church thing, probably would be my guess. So there were some school buses in the parking lot too, but plenty of parking for a trailer. So that part went well, but that was the only part that went well with this experience. So anyway, I'm off my game a little bit today. I'm a little tired. I'm a bit of a diva. I need my beauty sleep. Didn't get it today. Hopefully, I'll have a better experience tonight in Columbus. I can't remember where I stayed at last year, the name of the hotel when I went to Columbus, but it was over by the Cabela's, that part of Columbus there. And it was a really nice hotel for like $70 a night. I mean, it was a very nice hotel for the price. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to, I got to remember the name of that place. I'm going to have to look it up. We'll have to just get on Google and pull up Cabela's and see what that hotel over there is beside it. But I don't know if I'll get that place again or not, depending on the price. But it'll definitely be my first choice if the price is suitable, because it had an adequate parking lot too. And it was fairly close to where I'm going to be fishing there on Hoover. I'm excited to go to Hoover for both, not only the catfish, but also too the potential at these big carp and buffalo. I definitely want to get in a carp session. There's allegedly some buffalo on Hoover that's 40, 50 pounds, people claim. So I don't know if I'll get them, but they're allegedly in there. And the great thing about Hoover, aside from the fact there's some really big blues in there, but the great thing about Hoover is that it is a horsepower restricted lake, which means people can only have 10 horsepower. You can be out there in a boat with a bigger outboard than that. You can do that, but you can't run it. You got to be, to run your outboard, you got to be 10 horsepower or less. And so that in itself is appealing because you don't get all the houseboats, wakeboarders, ski boaters and all that, because they just can't do their thing with 10 horsepower. So it's really nice from that perspective. Now, the people I know that fish there regularly, they seem to complain about the sailboat people. And I only fished there briefly last year, so my experience on there is very limited. Those people will probably end up pissing me off too if I encounter them. But last year, I mean, it was a really, coming from where I do in Tennessee, where it's just houseboat, wakeboarder, jet ski, ski boat, or just one after another all the damn time. when you go somewhere like that and 10 horsepower is the max, it's like, boy, this is nice. So I'm looking forward to getting out there. And of course, we got our tournament coming up too, so I definitely want to piddle around and try to see if I can figure out anything. I want to try out these rigs too, these dragging rigs. I got a feeling tournament day I'm going to be dragging. And I want to see how well these flies do on the dragging rigs there for blues. So last year in the tournament, I was catching fish up in the water column. So I was using the balloon rig. And I had the flies on those rigs there. I had the cut bait and then the fly. And my biggest fish on tournament day, I think it was 39 inches, I think. 38, 39 inches, something like that. It was a good fish. But my biggest fish that day came on the fly that was under a balloon rig. And so I'm real curious, running these dragging rigs with the flies, what that's going to do for the blues there on Hoover. Because I've been told the thermocline has set in there this summer, so fish are going to be shallow. Most of them, I assume, will be shallow. So for tournament purposes, I imagine pretty much everybody's going to be fishing the upper end of the reservoir. There's a couple, and I don't know if they're actively flowing. There's a couple creeks that come in at the top of Hoover. Now, I don't know if there's a lot of water movement in there, but that would definitely be something for me to check out for sure, see if there's actually any water movement. But either way, I'm probably going to spend my time on the upper end probing around, unless I'm just not getting bit. Now, if I'm not getting bit, then I'll explore the middle and bottom. But last year, my best fishing came on the upper end. Seemed like everybody that done well was on the upper end. And I imagine with the thermocline, that being the shallower portion, as something hits this bait over here. But I think the shallows is going to be the way to go. That's at least going to be my starting game plan when I get there. After I get bait, of course. We'll see how that goes. If I'm not able to get bait this afternoon, I'll just go carp fishing in the morning. I got a guy that lives there I'm friends with. He fishes the tournament trail too. He's a cop. I don't know how well he's going to go over me putting him on this channel. You know how them cops are. But he's wanting to do some carp fishing. So whenever I do get that carp session in, I'm going to holler at him, see if he's available. Y'all may be seeing a special guest on my video, potentially, if things work out. Need some things to go right. Obviously, we need him to be available whenever it is I'm going to carp fish. And two, we need to actually catch some carp so that I get some video content. So need a couple things to go right. But if all goes according to plan, we'll have us a cop on this channel. Maybe we can ask some legal questions. Hopefully, knowing him in Columbus, if I was to get a speeding ticket, hopefully that'll help get me out of it. Call in a favor, you know. He's also apparently something called a falconer. He does falconry, which is apparently one of these, what do you call it, a hobby? A sport? I don't even know what you would refer to it as, but he goes into the woods and captures birds. Something's happening with this rod here. We may just be coming across something on the bottom there, a little rough. But he goes out and captures birds and tames them, I guess. I don't know. We're going to ask him a lot of questions about it, because I got a lot of questions about it. A falconer. Falconry. It sounds like a G.I. Joe name, honestly. I don't know how a person gets involved in such a thing, but he sent me a picture of him wearing one of them big leather gloves and some giant bird I guess it was a falcon on his hand. So he's into it. We're going to find out about it if we get to fish together. And if him and I don't get to fish together and you don't learn about falconry, I apologize. Don't blame me, blame the cop. Hopefully he's got some good cop stories too. He's been a cop forever. He's got to have some good stories. Stupid stuff people do. I want to know what kind of bribes he's been offered. I want to know how much money them cops take too. They go in, they bust a drug deal. You always see these pictures on the news. Cops go in, bust the place, a drug house, and they'll seize all of this drugs and paraphernalia and large sums of cash. I'm like, come on. You got $50,000 in cash there, you ain't putting a little bit in your pocket, giving yourself a little tip. You know, like first 5 cops on the scene, everybody gets 10 grand and we'll have 50 grand here left for the picture. I mean, come on. Now listen, I ain't faulting them for it if they do. No judgment from me. I'm just saying, just seems a little suspicious there. You got all that cash laying around and it just gets confiscated. And then where does it go when the cash gets confiscated? Where does it go? Obviously it's going to go to the police station, but like, what happens to the money? Does it just go in an evidence bag till the end of time? Does it go into some judge's fund, the police retirement fund, pension? Like, where does that money ultimately end up? This fish is going to end up on the hook there if he keeps after it. I think he may have it. Let's get us another one. Number 4. I think this is going to be another one here that's going to be a dinkity-doo-dah. Not the kind of channel cat we've come up. It seems like the further we move along here, the worse the quality's getting. If that continues to be the case, man, you may turn around before we get to this other bridge up here and go back. We may go back and circle down on the other side of them power lines maybe. Got all them big. There's another one on the chicken. What is that now? 3 on the chicken, 1 on the fly. 75% on the chicken rig. We could have done without catching this one though, couldn't we? We could have done without catching you, channel cat. You're another tiny thing. I can get you at home. I don't need that chicken on there still looks good, don't it? I'm beginning to wonder why that other rod ain't catching fish. I'm wondering if it ain't got no bait on it or something. Okay, back out it goes. There goes the train over. Yeah, I ain't running these rigs real far behind me because, well, I just don't need to really. The water here is so calm. We're not really bouncing around, so no need to let out a ton of line. Maybe I'm probably running them back about as far as that balloon back there, truth be told. But when I come up here last year, I kind of did the same. Last year when I come up, I fished like, I think 2 days before the tournament. I had fished, and I did this path that day and got several fish. You know what I'm gonna reel this in, see if we got bait on here. It's weird that we're not getting any. That one rod keeps getting the taps and stuff. We may not have any, we may have done been cleaned out, not even know. Yeah, look at here, we've been fishing on credit the whole time. Lord. Well, that explains that. Hard to catch a fish with a bare hook, although we still had a chance for them with the fly, but there we go. Another piece on there. Yeah, we should definitely improve our calls, actually having some bait on the hook this time. So I'll give myself a little backlash. Here's something else that's, and I ain't been able to figure this out, and maybe some of y'all that fish up here regularly could educate me. I ain't been able to figure out the way the tide works up here. There is definitely, I guess you call, I don't even know what you call it. Is it considered a tide? Like, it seems like you get some current flow through here sometimes. Like it'll go one way for a while and then it'll go the other way for a while. And I don't know if it's just because this was part of it's Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes. Is it just because it's so big that it gets some tidal movement with the moon and all that? I don't know. But I ain't never really been able to, I couldn't figure it out last year, like when the tide was going to turn and stuff, and I ain't researched it none. But it would be interesting to know. Yeah. My best fish last year was actually, my best day was on the tournament day itself, and I had drag baits going this way under the other bridge, and I was just going to keep going. And I got on something, I saw it with live scope. It was a big rough area. There was some kind of debris and whatnot down there. And I caught some fish, and I spot locked while I was getting those fish done, and I threw my baits back out while I was going to get them pictured and measured, everything for the tournament. And I just sat there and I just kept catching fish, like one after another, and that lasted for damn near an hour. And then that tide, or the current, whatever you call it, like it switched. And those fish moved. And I never could find them again after that. That school anyway, I never could find them. I caught some other fish just moving around and stuff after that, but I never found that particular school where it was just one after another after another. It's definitely a unique fishery up here though, and I don't know why there's so many more dead fish here versus other places. I mean it's just, it is, this place, if you ever come up here, it stinks. Like I need to put my head down in my cooler to get a breath of fresh air. And y'all know how bad my coolers stink, where I've got all them dead fish in there all the time. So it's just a harsh environment for some reason. And covered, here's another thing that I noticed last year. And thankfully, I'm not going to be up here very long today to investigate. But last year, tons and tons and tons of snakes up here. Like there was one day, I'd brought my carp gear with me last year. And I was going to pull the kayak up on the bank and do some carp fishing. And I got up on the bank, and man, I kept seeing snakes, and I was like, I'm out. Bad enough you got all these fish carcasses everywhere, but throw in the fact that snakes kept going by. I was like, I don't do snakes, man, I'm out. But I ain't never seen so many snakes in my life as what I saw up here last year. I don't know what kind they were, but I'm one of them people who thinks the only good snake's a dead snake. They say certain types of snakes are good to have around your house and whatnot. They eat the rats and the mice and stuff. Me, man, I'll put out some poison for the mice. Like, I don't need no snake. I had a snake one time, and I was ready to burn the house down. My front porch ain't, I got a big back porch, but my front porch is just kind of like it's a small area. Got a couple steps, you come up, a little opening there for the front door, a little overhang, if you will. Small area, but there was some birds, and they'd got up in the corner, kind of on the vinyl siding, like the underside of it there, where the roof is, and they'd made a little hole in the corner. And they had built a nest up in there. And I could hear the baby birds and whatnot, and so it was on my to-do list to close up that hole, but I didn't want to close in the baby birds up there, so I was giving it a little time for them to get big enough to fly out, and then I was going to close up that hole. Well, one day I'm sitting there in my living room, and I had my front door open where I could kind of see that corner there where that hole was at. And all of a sudden I see this snake, and it's a big snake. It's a black snake, which people say are the kind of snake you want around your house, because they apparently eat the rats and the mice and stuff. And apparently also eat baby birds. So I see this damn snake, and it's probably 3-4 foot long, and it's got some girth to it. It makes its way up the pole there, the wood there of my porch, and crawls in that damn hole, and I assume that it ate them baby birds. I do not like to see a snake eat. I find it repulsive, it's disgusting, it gives me the creeps. I don't like seeing a snake eat anything. But it got up there in my damn house. Because, I mean, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this thing, like, it could get up in the rafters. What if it somehow fell through the drywall of my seat? Like, what if it got in the house somehow? Like, I'd have to burn this place to the ground. I had the heebie-jeebies. And I sit there and watching the damn thing. I kept waiting on it to come back out because I wanted to know it was gone. I never saw it come back out. I assume it did at some point. But nevertheless, that hole is now closed. And I assume that snake, if he's still there, he's dead by now, because that's been a while. But yeah, damn snake crawled up my porch, the railing up the porch, got in that hole where the baby birds were, and I assume ate them. I guess it could hear the baby birds just chirping in there. The only thing I can figure. I about died though. I was like, I can't be dealing with no snakes in the house. You see stories occasionally, people's getting snakes in the house and coming up through the toilets and whatnot, and I'd be traumatized for life if something like that happened. Be sitting on the throne taking a crap, all of a sudden you look down, there's a big snake crawling up a toilet. I about got my other problem at the house resolved, I think. One of them. I never did hear back from the utility board. For those of you who've been following along with the utility board saga, my regular viewers, from where they tore up my yard, those people will not call me back. Like they don't give a damn, man. They don't give a crap. I'm never going to get that fixed. I'm going to have to do it my damn self. But the ant infestation, I think I've about got whooped. I put out that food for them that they allegedly eat, then take back to the queen and the colony, and it kills them all. I've been seeing very, very few. I went a whole day without seeing an ant, and then the next day I only saw one. So I think that stuff has worked, thankfully. So I'm hoping when I left that stuff out, I'm hoping when I get home I don't have a whole new colony in there. If I do, I'm calling the Orkin man. I was trying to get out of calling them, or Terminex, or whoever the hell gets rid of ants in your house. I know there's somebody that can do it. You know what I want to do? I mean, my initial plan here, folks, was to make our way up here, go through one of these bridge columns, turn around and come back. But the more we're going up through here, the less action we're getting, and the few fish, the last couple fish we've gotten anyway, the quality's getting worse and worse. I think we ought to reel up, turn around, and go back the other way. What do you think about that? And we get over there to the other bridge, we can make a decision. Do we want to keep going, go through the bridge, or do we want to turn, maybe go down along them power lines? We got options out here. I mean, again, this is just one big bay. We're just out here we're just hoping to run into some fish. The people that fish up here regularly, if you had some time to really put into such a place, you could probably isolate some really good spots. If you got on some rock piles, or if you found anything submerged down there that might hold some fish, you could probably get you some good anchor spots. But for our purposes, just coming up here and just piddling around for a little while, not really being familiar with the area, I just want to get out here and cover water. Okay, nothing's messed with our balloon rig yet. All right, let's get us turned around here. We'll put everything back out, and then we'll just trawl our way back to that bridge, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll make a decision from there. I'm flexible. I'm not really committed to any one thing. I mainly just wanted to come out and cover water and try to stumble into a few fish, which we've done. I mean, we were getting some fish here, but I just feel like quality's getting worse the farther this direction we go. So, first couple channel cats we got were pretty good, but it's went downhill since then. All right, let's get this one here is going to be a little bit difficult to cast, but we'll try to give it a little toss, help it out. Start letting out some line. We'll let that one go down too, right there. That one as well. Should have probably switched out that piece of chicken on that one, but it'd be all right. Yeah, we'll just head back toward the train bridge. It's a nice day out here, though. I mean, if you're going to fish Sandusky, watch the wind report. Because I'm telling you, man, you get wind out here that's 15 miles an hour, you're in trouble. especially if you're going outside of these bridges. Like, you're gonna have some big waves. Yeah, I'm gonna let out just a little bit more line on this balloon here. This balloon rig, man, I didn't know what to expect with it, but I wanted to try it. Just from having seen so many drum last year, I thought, man, this would be a chance for us to bust one on that jig possibly, or bass. But anyway, there's hopefully you can see that out there. Back there behind us. It's maybe 30 yards, 50 yards behind us there. Let's see, that ought to be far. What do you think? About far enough on these, probably. Okay. Oh, look right here, buddy. We just turned. We're already hooked up. Okay. How about that? That was interesting. I engaged the reel and we got a fish. I wonder if that fish ate it while it was setting still. That'd be interesting to know. Maybe we need to be anchored. Could be just coincidence too. Either way, we got us another fish. I was wanting to maybe switch out this bait here anyway, so be a good opportunity to do this. We get him up here. It's one of them old butt cheek heads. Right here, look, he's got, his head looks like a butt. Old butt face. It's another one on the chicken though. Okay, channel cat, I want you to be good. I want you to act like somebody. That ain't gonna do it. You're rolling around in your friend's crap right there. I want you to know it. That first fish of the day doo-dooed all over the place, and you're rolling around in it right now. He thinks he's taking a mud bath, but that ain't mud. He don't want to open up either. There we go. Oh, he bit down on my hand. He's mad at me because I called him butt face. Look at his head though. It looks like butt cheeks. Hard to see with the sun, us looking into the sun, but get on, fish. The old thing. Bad attitudes, part of the reason why I don't like channel cats. They're very rude and disrespectful, aren't they? Old channel cats. Here I am, several hours away from home, fishing for channel cats. Hell is frozen over once again, folks. Goodness gracious, couldn't get that piece. Couldn't get that piece cut. Yeah, that piece of chicken there, it's caught a few fish. We'll just switch it out. I'm gonna leave that chicken there just under the seat. No sense putting it in and out of the cooler because I ain't really trying to necessarily keep it fresh today because I ain't gonna be using it down there on Hoover. This is gonna be I do have another pack of chicken in the cooler. I got 2 packs just in case we really got on some fish, but I won't be using this on Hoover. I'll catch something. Hopefully get some crappie down there. Be really what I'd like to get. Oh. Let's set that back. We got one over here. Maybe we just come through this area going the other way. and wasn't getting this. I wonder if it's the direction we're going, maybe. That could be it too. Either way, man, we're getting bit. This is several fish here, a little over an hour. Let's see what this one's. We know he's a channel cat. We'll see what size he is. He's been swimming toward me most of the fight here. Still ain't got to look at him. I think he's going to be a little better one. He thinks he's a better one anyway. Look at him go now. Neatest one that's worth some front camera time. That's what we need. Get us one that's fist pump worthy or something. A little better one here. I don't know that he's going to be worth front camera time necessarily, but I may give him front camera time. Just hell, we're facing into the sun now. We can actually potentially get a picture. I thought that rod right there was getting hit. I'm gonna let out a little bit more line on that one while we fool with this one. Don't let me forget to flip that bail over here in a minute. I'll be spooled, and it won't be because of a fish. Yeah, folks, so we got, I mean, this is a few, for this small stretch here that we've covered, this is several fish. This is a, well, what happened here? Did I just get, hopefully that was a water drop. Something hit my head. I was hoping it wasn't a bird doo-dooing on me, but I don't, here, I'm gonna flip that bail over on that rod now. I was worried I got doo-dooed on. This is a better one here. Oh! This one right here may be the biggest one of the morning so far. Possibly. Bigger than them little dinky-doo-dahs for sure. Come on, open up. If you'd open up, we'd done, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to bring him in, I reckon. I hate to do that. He's heavy enough, I don't want to accidentally break my leader. Boy, he don't want to open up. Let's bring him in like that. Yeah, folks, there's a pretty good channel cat, buddy. If I was back home fishing for blues, we'd call this probably a fun sizer. Goodness, I can't get that hook out. There we go. There we go. Oh, Lord, fish. You done got that stinger in you. There you go. Here, let's get that out the way. He's an ornery old devil, but he's gonna get him some front camera time, ain't he, folks? Y'all sit up there. I can't believe I'm saying this, but take a picture of me and this channel cat, would you? If I can get that camera turned around right. Easy, easy. Well, he don't want to, this fish, he don't want to cooperate for nothing. Here, if I can't get in your mouth, let's hold him like that, if I can. Nice, man, that's a pretty good channel cat, buddy. Bigger than anything we got at home, channel cat wise. He don't want to open that mouth for. I can't get him in the mouth. Heck with it. I'm gonna give up on it. Get out of here. There you go. Nice. If you into channel cats, buddy, that right there's a good one. Some people are. I get them people on my channel all the time. Anytime I talk trash about channel cats, I get people on my channel just defending them, you know. They love channel cats. I guess it's just all in what you've got, where you fish, and where you grew up at, and what you like. Yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna put us some more chicken on. There's some kind of film all over the water here too, like it's a pollen or something. I don't know, it's all over everything. Run us another piece of chicken on there. I thought we was on that first fish we got there on the fly. I thought, boy, we're really on to something with the flies, but since then, every one of them's hit the chicken. Okay. I think we're back in the game here. Y'all didn't get no water on you, did you? You look good there. Y'all always be looking good. Me, I gotta work at it. It takes work to make me look this good. I know undoubtedly some of you are saying I probably need to work a little harder at it. I blame Comfort Inn today. Comfort Inn, Sandusky. You're better off staying with Tom Bodette up here. I guarantee you up here though, he'll leave a light on for you to keep the snakes away. It ain't the roaches at the Motel 6 up here, it's probably the snakes. I'll try to get us back on track here. I didn't have us turned right, I guess. We're veering off this way. I want to go this way, but you know, maybe it is something. Maybe it's just us putting a bait in their face. I don't know, but it could very well be. I've had this happen a lot. Not only with catfish when I'm dragging, but also other fish species too. You troll one way and you don't get bit. You turn around and you go the exact same path, but you go in the opposite direction. And all of a sudden, you got rods going down. Now, why is that? I don't know. But it's happened enough times with different species of fish that it's definitely a thing. It could have something to do with the current flow, or in this situation today, tide. You know, again, I don't know. I don't understand the tidal stuff. Here's a dead fish floating right here. It's probably a drum. I tell you, they're all over. This is just if the zombie apocalypse hits, but you're going to have a bunch of zombie drum and channel cats. And see right here, like, I mean, those are some big fish right here under us too. 14 feet deep right here. Them some big marks. That there's a dead drum covered in pollen or something. Yeah, folks, I mean, I feel like we're off to a pretty good start here. How far are we into this mess? I remember it took us 8 minutes to get all our lines out and me to hush my mouth talking. It says 88 minutes. I mean, that's several fish in the first hour and 20 minutes or so, hour and a half. It's like I said, man, you come up here, you're going to get bit. It ain't, if you're going to catch fish, you're going to catch fish, and just, will you be on some good quality fish? And we've got, I mean, that last channel cat's pretty good quality. I didn't bring my measuring board or anything, so I don't know. Lengthwise, don't know what he is. Don't matter outside of a tournament, really. You know, people get all fixated on the weights and lengths and things like that, and it's, personally, I don't really care. In a tournament, obviously, you got to care, but just fun fishing like we're doing today, I just want to get a big bend in the rod and a tug on the line. hold up a fish and look at it and know whether or not it's bigger than what I normally get back home. You know, I don't need to know a certain length. My friend Adam, though, he got big fish at the tournament, 36 inches, and that was, I mean, 36 inches is that's a good fish regardless, but especially channel cat. I mean, like that's a really good channel cat. Yeah, a place like this, you know, I don't want to come up here and spend a week fishing for these channel cats, but to come up and spend half a day, sure. I mean, you could talk me into that. I wouldn't want to drive up here, fish half a day, and then drive back home. Way too long a drive for that, but just on a little Ohio road trip, kind of on a whim, really. I'd kind of, if I had fished the tournament, what I'd wanted to do is split up my drive, go fish Hoover, come up here, practice one day, Sandusky, fish the tournament, go back, fish Hoover, then go home. But the wind forecast, obviously, it didn't play out for that. But kind of doing the same thing on this little trip that I'm on, though. I ended up deciding to make the long drive up to Sandusky first yesterday, and then make my way down to Columbus this afternoon. And then the drive from Columbus really isn't that bad. It's about 5 hours from Columbus to my house. But right in the middle of the drive is a Buc-ee's. And although I don't like people, and I don't like going into gas stations, I do enjoy Buc-ee's. So if I'm on a road trip, we got another line snagged here, we'll get right out. If I'm on a road trip, I always go to Buc-ee's if there's one on the commute. And so I stopped on the way up here, and I spent $25 damn in there. I shouldn't like it that much for what they charge you, but I got me a bag of beef jerky. I got some chocolate-covered almonds, the dark chocolate-covered almonds. Hard to find that outside of a Buc-ee's, but they got everything at Buc-ee's. I went in and took a leak because they got a great bathroom at there. Got some gas. I got me another snag right here. Let's see if we can get out of this. And that one snagged up pretty good. This one we may have to go back for, folks. I let that one get too snagged before I gave it to slack. And yeah, we gotta go back for that one. That's my fault. That was my fault. I'll let it get, like I said, when you see that rod load up and you're getting snagged, if you'll give it some slack and lift straight up, most of the time you're good. But if you let it get fully loaded up before you give it the slack, that's when you're gonna have problems. And that's what I did then. We'll go back and get it though, ain't a big deal. When you're fishing, now obviously up here, because of Ohio's laws, you're capped at 3 rods. So you're limited anyway. But normally when I'm dragging baits back home, where we don't have any restrictions, I'm still just fishing 2, maybe 3 rods. Most of the time 2, but if I'm running a balloon rig or something, I'll have a 3rd. Or I may suspend a couple rods off the front while I drag a couple off the back. But bottom line, when you're not fishing with very many rods, it ain't a big deal when you get snagged to go pop it. Did you see that? Something come up right there in front of us. It was right there in front of us, man. But it ain't a big deal to go and pop them free. Now, if you're running 10 rods and planer boards and you got a whole spread out, buddy, it is super inconvenient. There it comes. It is super inconvenient to do that. You pretty much just got to break off because you're going to spend so much time reeling everything else in and getting all your lines back out. Like it ain't worthwhile. So, but I you know me, I hate pulling planer boards. I hate pulling boards. I pretty much hate all the people that do pull boards. I just find them completely unrelated. You know, I say that. There's some good people that pull boards. Ryan's a good friend of mine. I give him crap about it all the time. But you know what I mean. Like, there's people that pull boards and then there's everybody else. Let's get ourselves reset here on the speed. I'm gonna start that going back down. I don't want to cast it back out right here because sure enough we'll end up in the same damn snag we just got out of if I do. Yeah, the way we're doing things today, not a big deal at all. Go back and get one if we do get snagged. I don't anticipate, well, I don't want to say that, I'll jinx it, but I don't anticipate us losing any rigs out here today. I don't think I lost any rigs last year. I don't think I lost any rigs on Hoover last year either. Yeah, Buc-ee's though, man. I always stop at Buc-ee's. I spent $25 though yesterday. And that's not counting the gas. I got a thing of almonds, a thing of beef jerky. I got a drink, and I got one of them Texas cheesesteak burritos, which are really good. Very overpriced at $9, but very good nonetheless. $25 later, I had me a bunch of snacks and a burrito. Yeah, I'll stop at Buc-ee's on the way back, and it's perfect going from Columbus to my house because it's right there, halfway mark. So right when your butt's getting tired, you can get out, stretch a little bit, and refresh yourself, and you're ready for the second half of the drive. I'll usually put on first couple hours, usually till the first gas stop. I'll listen to music in the car, and then I'll stop. I'll get me you go there to Buc-ee's, for instance, get me a snack, get something to eat, and I'll put on a podcast, and that'll take up the rest of the drive. So, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, y'all, that's the plan. We're going to go to Columbus this afternoon, get on the water, look for some bait, get out there, fish the morning session tomorrow, and we'll either catfish or carp, depending on how bait fishing went or how it goes this afternoon, and then probably do the opposite in the afternoon tomorrow. For instance, if I don't get bait this afternoon, I'll carp fish in the morning and then try to get bait tomorrow afternoon. If I do get bait today, I'll catfish in the morning and then go carp fishing in the afternoon. We got options. I've brought it all. I've also brought I didn't bring it with me out here, it's in the car. Which my car better be safe over there. It costs $10 to use this boat ramp. So by God, they better be watching things. But I got my ultralight rod in the car, which I'm gonna take, hopefully catch some crappie there on Hoover. That was my big motivation for bringing this kayak, was to have the live scope for for the crappie. Yeah, $10 over here, man. There's a boat ramp right over here to the right. I don't know if you can see that other boat coming over there, but he probably put in there as well. It's very convenient to fish right here between the bridges. I mean, you come out of that little, behind that rock wall, whatever over there, I forget what it's called. You come out of that and you're right here where you want to fish. Hell, you can start fishing over there and fish your way up if you wanted to. But $10, man, per day. That ain't like a month pass or anything. That's per day. Highway dam robbery. Speaking of getting robbed, though, let me tell you this story. Man, it's been a few weeks ago now. I don't remember the date. It's been a few weeks. Anyway, I went down and I'd fished Chattanooga area. And once I was done fishing, I met up with Daniel. We went and had lunch, and he had gotten some carp gear or whatever he was going to show me. So we went and had lunch and showed me that stuff he got. And he wanted to go to some place there downtown Chattanooga, one of them little hipster burger restaurant places. And Chattanooga, if you're not familiar with Tennessee and Chattanooga is a fairly good-sized city. I mean, at least for Tennessee part. It's not like a New York City, but for Tennessee purposes, it's one of the larger cities. And you go to the downtown areas, and parking's at a premium, so you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to go to a paid parking lot. So, no big deal, whatever. I pull in this paid parking lot, and they don't have an attendant there to take your money. Everything's online now, so you scan this QR code. It brings up the site there on your phone. You put in how much time you want to buy. Everything's done online. And I was a little confused because you pull up and it's asking, you're paying by your license plate number. That's how you kind of, I guess, register your car in there. Some places you go, you pay by parking space. Other places, like this one, it's by your license plate tag. So I was like, well, I put my license plate in, but technically I'm taking up 2 spaces because I had the kayak trailer. I'd pulled through and I had 2 spaces. But this parking lot, it wasn't, the spots weren't marked at all. So I was like, well, I guess I'm good, because all I can do is put in my plate. And I don't have here in Tennessee, we don't have to register our trailers. So my trailer doesn't have a license plate on it. And so anyway, I pay for an hour there, $4 and something, and I go in, and Daniel and I eat. Well, we leave, go about our business. I checked my mailbox the other day. Got me a ticket for parking in that parking lot. Not because of my trailer taking up 2 spots. That apparently wasn't the issue. The issue was I don't know how much Daniel paid for. I paid for an hour at the parking lot. Well, that hipster burger joint took a little longer than an hour. We ran a few minutes over. Would you take a guess before I tell you? Take a guess what my parking ticket was for. The amount. Take a guess at it. Y'all talk amongst yourselves a minute before I drop the bomb on you. And honestly, this pisses me off, because if they had sent me this ticket and charged me, let's say, for another hour, it was a few minutes over, but let's say they just went ahead and billed me for a full another hour and give me like a $10 fine or something. Make it $15. You know what? My mistake. I ran a little over. I'd pay it. No problem. Would you believe my ticket was $85? $85 for running over a few minutes. And again, it wasn't like I went in this place and didn't pay. Hell no, I paid $4 for the hour. But because I went over a few minutes, $85 fine. I said, you can kiss my pearly white ass. I am not paying it. I refuse to pay it. And of course, you read the language on the letter, and it's like, if you don't pay, you're at risk for being turned over to collections and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, turn my ass over to collections. Go ahead and turn it over. I could care less about credit. Everything I own's paid for. My house, my car. I don't have any student loans anymore. Like everything I have is paid for. I will never use credit again. I could give two doo-doos about my credit score. It means nothing to me because I'll never use it again, ever. The only thing I have credit-wise, I have one credit card that I put everything on, all my monthly expenses, gas, food, any bills I can put on there. I put it on that credit card and I pay it off at the end of the month. I never pay any interest. I mean, hell, my interest rate on that card's 20-something%. It's something ridiculous. But I never pay any interest because I just pay the amount off every month. I just accumulate the points. My Las Vegas trip I took a few months back, damn near the whole trip was covered by the cash back I'd got on my credit. I cashed in my points. I had like $1,200 that I cashed in, put toward the Vegas trip. So, I mean, that bought me and the girlfriend both of our plane tickets and hotel and everything out there. But bottom line is, I don't give a damn about my credit. So when they want to threaten me with this ridiculous fine, they're going to turn me over to collections if I don't pay this exorbitant amount, which should be illegal to charge that ridiculous, for running a few minutes over. $85? I'm not paying. I would have paid them $15. You know, pay them $4 for an additional hour and a fine of $10 or something. Something reasonable, but they were completely unreasonable. $85. They can kiss my ass. I'm not paying it. So we'll see if they want to follow up. I'd be surprised if they do, honestly, because to take me to collections, you can send me to collections and they can call and bug me and it won't matter for nothing. To really come after me for that money, though, you know, you want to pay a lawyer $300 plus an hour to come after me for $85. If you want to take me to court over it, that's a good way to go out of business. I mean, lawyers ain't cheap, people. The lawyer I have for my business here with this YouTube crap's $300 an hour. And he bills for everything. If that asshole emails me, I get a bill for it. He literally charges me to email me. Like, lawyers charge for everything. They're billable hours. I mean, they're tacking everything on there. So if a collection company or this parking lot company, if they want to pay a lawyer $300 an hour to take you to court to try to get a $85 fine enforced, good luck. Good luck running your business with that kind of mindset. But I'll never go there again, I'll tell you that. I forgot the name of that burger place already. As the train honks. The burger place was pretty good. I forgot the name of it. I had an avocado. It was one of them swanky places, you know, they got these gourmet burgers. I had an avocado on my hamburger. It was pretty good. I'll never go there again. I don't care how good it was. I'll never go back because I'll never use that parking lot again. I told Daniel, I said, next time, I sent him a thing. I said, get ready, Daniel, because I think he paid for an hour too, and he's probably going to get tickets if he did. But I said, I eat lunch with you again, by God, we're going to Waffle House, where you can park in the parking lot, don't have to pay for it, and stay as long as you damn well please. $85. Boy, at first, because when I first opened up my mailbox and I saw the kind of envelope it was, I was like, oh, I've been hit by one of them red light cameras. We got red light cameras. I don't know if they got them all over the country or not, but in Tennessee, where I live, we got them red light cameras. and they're kind of like eye in the sky type cops. Now that train's being annoying now. But these red light cameras will catch you either running a red light. As that rod got tapped. They'll catch you either running a red light or not coming to a complete stop before turning or something like that. You know, they catch you breaking a law of some kind, and then they send you a ticket in the mail. It's usually $50, $100, something like that. And we actually had a politician a few years back, and I'd shout him out. I forgot his name. It was the only politician in the state of Tennessee's history that's ever done anything worth a damn. But he pointed out how all these red light camera things they're running a sham. They're running a scam is what they're doing. They can't enforce any of this stuff. And so he got some stuff passed through Tennessee's political system, where now these red light camera companies, when they send you your fine, they have to, in bold print on their letter they send you, put on there that this cannot affect your driver's license, credit score, insurance, blah, 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 blah. They have to have all that listed on it. They'll have threatening language on there. This is a civil fine and you are obligated to pay, blah, 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 blah. But then they have to have that disclaimer on there that it can't go against your license, insurance, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks to that politician who, again, I can't remember his name, but I would vote for the guy. He's the only politician Tennessee's ever had that's been worth a damn. He's never done anything for any of us. So I periodically will get one of these tickets and I just throw them away. I'm not going to pay them. They're ridiculous. They're set up to entrap people. Here's the one that always gets me. I'll tell you this story. In the town of Farragut. So Farragut, Tennessee is between Lenoir City and Knoxville. It's like it's a smaller, I guess they're incorporated, small town right before you get into Knoxville. And there's a red light camera. They got multiple red light cameras, but there's one that's really just obnoxious because it's set up on this four-way intersection. And the intersection between the place where you stop and the red light is very wide. And it's set up to trap people, because if you are doing the speed limit and you reach the point over here where it's too late, when the light turns yellow here, if you're doing the speed limit and it's too late for you to lay on the brakes and stop before you go to the intersection, if you go on through doing the speed limit, that light will turn red before you get to it. It turns very quickly. And so you're trapped basically. You're too far gone to lay on the brakes, but you can't get through the red light before it turns red, so that light gets you every time. That camera gets you and gets you a ticket. And it's bullshit is what it is. It's a trap. They take advantage of people that get hit with it and just maybe don't read all the language on the letter there, and they pay it. And they probably make bukus of money every year doing that. But I don't pay it. It's a sham. That politician we had, he went off on it. He actually did a video. It was a viral video years ago, but he did a video lighting his letter on fire from the red light company. He lit it on fire, literally, and threw it in a garbage can and told everybody to do the same thing. So I don't pay them. But when I first got this letter from the parking lot company, that's what I thought it was at first. I thought I'd went through another damn red light. But no, sure enough, parking lot. Ran a few minutes over on lunch. $85 fine. Which has to be, That has to be illegal. I mean, who determines what they can fine you? Like, that has to be. I mean, it's just, that's excessive. Is this boat here fishing, or is he just moving along? We're about to turn here in a second, folks, I think, because we've got a boat on each one of these power lines, and we got a pontoon coming straight at us here. He must have multiple people in the boat, because there's about 47 rods coming off that thing, and it's 3 per person here in Ohio. Surely he's not going to drop. I mean, he's literally on a collision course for us. Surely they're not going to drop baits down right there. They see us coming. Okay, they're moving along, I guess. I really had hoped we wouldn't see anybody out here today. I thought, being a weekday morning, we'd have this place to ourselves. It's been a while since we've caught a fish too, by the way. That's a little concerning too. I think when we get up here, because all these people's around the power lines, I think we're going to go into that bridge and keep going. Get away from people. We'll get out in the bay. My God, they got a bunch of fishing poles. Oh, we're going to catch one right in front of them here in a second too, probably. That rod was getting hit. Oh, there goes one. We are going to catch one right in front of them. What if they wasn't going to set up on me before? It's the first bite in a while, though. I hope they keep moving on. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what he's on. Yeah, channel there. He's on the chicken too. Okay, come in here, fish. Let's bring you in just like that. He is hooked on a bad spot right there, ain't he? Bottom of the mouth. Bottom lip that's coming out. There we go. Let's get you out of here quick, fish. Get him gone. I'm gonna switch this chicken out, I think, before we throw it back out. I think though, when we get over here to this bridge, and we may actually have to go around that other boat right there, because I can't tell if they're anchored or what they're doing. I'm thinking right now, y'all, we're going to get away from these people is what we're going to do. One way or another, we're going to get away from them. I think we're going to go out that bridge and keep going. Yeah, pontoon guy's still going over there. He had about 1 million rods out there. They must have had 6 people on that damn thing to have that many rods out. Alright, let's throw that out. Yeah, I think that boat up there in front of us is probably, I guess they're anchored. I wonder if we shouldn't just reel up and go around them right quick. Because if they are dragging, let's before we let this thing back out, let's just go around them. Because it's going, if not, we're going to have a mess here in about 5 minutes. Let's just go ahead and handle it now. Get around them, and then we won't have to worry about it. There's too many damn people right here anyway. We'll switch this chicken out too before we drop them back down. Lordy days, people. Here I did, thought we was gonna have this place to ourselves today. Shows what I know. Shows what I know, man. Okay. All right. Let's we'll go in front of this guy up here. Yeah, we'll just go around. We'll go through the bridge, get over there on the other side, and then start fishing again and make our way out. I think that'll be the plan. I don't want to be on top of people, and I don't want them on top of me. I think he's got one. His rod was bouncing around. Y'all come with me. We're going for a ride. Out this other way here, going out this bridge here though, is where I got on them fish last year during the tournament. There's I think I mentioned it there earlier, there's some kind of debris, rock, I don't know what it is out here. We'll eventually run into it though. I got it marked on the graph. But that's where I got on all them fish there last year. So we'll go this way. Hopefully we won't have a bunch of people out here. I bet you, man, I bet you tournament day up here, 20-something people in the tournament. I bet you 15 to 18 of them were in this area. Plus all the recreational boat. I bet it was, you'd be tripping all over people out here trying to fish. I'd have probably just, had I fished it, I would have probably had to just anchor down on a spot and just ride it out. Because if we had tried to do what we were doing today with that many people, like it just wouldn't be, it wouldn't be efficient to be reeling up and going around people all the time. There's a boat on the other side over here, but I think it's just a pleasure boat waiting for the bridge to open up. That bridge right there raises and lowers depending on, it lowers for the trains and then it raises up for the boats to go through. It won't affect us being in a kayak. We can just go right under the regular railroad bridge here, but people in boats can't fit. Yeah, we'll get on the other side over here, drop baits down, and then start fishing again. Yeah, it's wide open over here. I don't see any fishermen. Y'all duck. We got plenty enough clearance. Okay. All right, we cleared it. Boy, look at all that, man. Look at all that right there. I'm just gonna spot lock here a second. Look at all that, man. There's fish everywhere right there. I'm just gonna, let's set here a second. Let's set here on top of this. I don't know what them are, but that's a pile of them. Apparently the current's going this way. Spot lock's turning me into it. Yeah, let's set here just a second. Let's give it just a few minutes. I'm gonna switch out that chicken before we get going, dragging again, but we'll just put in a little time here. Basically just drop these things down right under us. And I don't know what all those are. I have no idea, but I mean, it's a bunch of them, and it's some larger marks too mixed in there. I'm gonna turn the transducer around. We'll get a better look. That's facing directly behind us right there. Yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, we're either going to get bit or we ain't, right? Try it and see. I mean, it could be drum, it could be something else. I mean, who the hell knows? Comes a train. Y'all cover your ears. Try to get me a thumbnail while that train goes by. Boy, it's loud. Trying to get a little thumbnail action going on there while that thing goes over. I was going to have chicken in the thumbnail of this one, because this time of year, chicken's a pretty good thumbnail to have. Because so many casual fishermen are out using chicken. But get that train going by, that might make for an interesting picture too. Go. Hopefully that boat can go through now. I'm just gonna sit here maybe 5 minutes. All them fish there, if we don't get bit in 5 minutes, like, we're just not gonna get bit. But you got that many. If there's any cats in that, we should be getting bit. I don't know how well you can see it with the glare, plus my screen's dirty. But I mean, there's some bigger marks right there. I don't know what that could be. I don't know. I mean, I know there's obviously drum in here because we've seen a bunch of dead ones, but walleyes in here. I don't know if that would be walleye or not. I don't know anything about walleye. Bass is in here. I don't know what that could be. Pretty sure it's not crappie. It don't look like crappie. But it's something. It's definitely life down there. And lots of it. But there's definitely some flow. You can see when I hit the spot lock on the motor, the kayak spun this way, so the flow's coming out from under the bridge this way. And I don't know how that's going to affect things when we, it seemed like when we turned up there and we started coming with the flow, we got bit a little more initially, and then we went through another dead stretch. I don't know. Don't know enough about these tidal, because we just don't have this back home. Like, this is just, we have current if they're generating at the dams, but like, the flow doesn't switch back and forth throughout the day back home like it does here. So I don't know enough about it, like how you should be setting up. If you're drifting or trolling, which direction should you go, with it, against it? Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to know one way or the other. I'm just amazed at how many fish are down there. And I mean, you can see there's some bigger marks too. Our baits ain't been touched though since I dropped them down. They ain't been messed with. Well, I say that, and I think that one may have just been the kayak moving. They say you don't leave fish to go find fish, but what if you see a bunch of fish and you don't know what the hell they are and they ain't biting? This guy in the boat over here, that bridge ain't never gonna raise for him. Oh. I ought to drop that balloon down a little bit too. Let me do that. Just drop it down right there behind us too. At least get it on the surface. That jig will entice something. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there was another big splash on the other side. Yeah, that's one thing about live scope that's incredibly frustrating, is when you see a pile of fish like that and you have no idea what they are, can't get them to eat. It's like, we'll almost be better off not knowing they're there. They just keep moving in though. I mean, look at all this. They just keep moving in. Some of those are smaller, but there's some bigger ones in there too. Could be carp, buffalo maybe, I don't know. I don't know. We'll just keep sitting here a minute. I'm getting impatient though. When you see that many and you're not getting any bites, it's like, it's kind of like, maybe that ain't what we're looking for. You got that many fish and you drop a bait down there, like, they should be all over it. I don't know. You know something else I don't know about? I don't know if I should say this on video or not. I might incriminate myself. Of course, nobody's going to know when I film this video. This video is going to come out after I'm already gone from Ohio, of course. I didn't even bring my computer with me. Like, I can't even upload anything anyway on this trip until I get back home. I may be fishing without a license today. I can't remember. I didn't look to see when my Ohio license expired. I got it last year. I don't know when it expired. I may be fishing without a license right now. We better hope we don't get stopped. So I may get a ticket bigger than that $85 parking fine. I didn't even think about that. Normally, I check my licenses and everything before the tournaments. But since I didn't come up here on the tournament, it didn't dawn on me till now. I could be without a license right now. Either way, I'll get it remedied today when we get off the water. I'll check, see if I'm licensed or not. If I'm not, I'll go ahead and get another year's worth, but I hope we don't get stopped in the meantime. It's going to be an expensive day. I think we're about to get on the move, y'all. Whatever they are, they either ain't what we're looking for or they ain't biting. There's just too damn many of them for us not to get bit if it's what we're after. That's a curse of live scope, man. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled up on an area and seen fish and can't get them to eat, or stayed on an area way too damn long because you see fish. Sometimes I think it's a curse from that aspect because you spend too much, you waste time really, when you could be going after fish that are actively feeding. All right, we out of here. Let's switch out our chicken. We're gonna get on the move. Or whatever this damn pollen on the water is, buddy, it's got my allergies tore up too. I'm just gonna switch out both. I can't remember which rod I was gonna switch out now. I'm gonna switch them both out. Birds over there laughing at you because you can't catch a fish on a whole school of them. Birds are being rude, really. I wouldn't have laughed at you like that. I'm trying to empathize with you. Birds are rude, though, man. They don't give a crap. Like you damn tourists come up here. Best channel catfishery in the country. Can't catch one out of a million that you're sitting on top of. I can't remember which one of these we was going to switch out, but we'll just switch them both. And give them a free meal down there if they actually want to eat. All right. Plus, it'd be good to get away from this boat over here, too. Y'all know I don't like talking to people. Boy, it's just a pile of fish, man. Yeah, let's run up here past this boat. That way I can get away from people. I just don't like talking on camera around people for some reason. He's gonna be waiting all day on that damn bridge to open. All right, now let's get our lines out. Cast that one, get this one back out. There it goes. I remember it got shallower as I was going out through here last year. I think it was like 13 feet I was catching my fish at last year. And I don't know, again, with us going with the current right now, I don't know how that's going to affect things. I don't know when the current changes. That's another wild card. I don't know, even know how to check that. Are you kidding me? Did I just get snagged? I just got snagged. We cast out and we're instantly snagged. Are you kidding me? Right? Okay, there it comes. Look, what are the odds of that? Okay. Now let's finish getting this balloon out. We'll have to pick up our speed here. We'll have to go like 0.7 maybe, because, well, crap. Now we got this, well, we're in a mess here. Okay, there it comes. We're going through some rough area here. Here's what else I want to do too. I want to put the map card back on the screen. That way I can see when we come across that area I marked last year. The way we'll be able to see it, know where it's at, a GPS waypoint. I got on all them fish, I just marked a waypoint last year, be able to come back, but everything looks just kind of, you can see here, I mean, it looks just wide open area. Out here you wouldn't be able to triangulate just by looking on the water, because everything's so vast and open. Definitely need to, got to pick up our speed a little bit to stay ahead of the current. Normally, I'm just going to leave that be. Normally back home, I like to, if I'm dealing with current and I'm dragging, I want to drag into the current. Because if you're dragging with the current, you got to drag at a faster speed than it's going. Otherwise, your bait and your float and everything gets wrapped up with your sinker. So we're going to bump it up to like 0.7 here. That'll keep us going faster than the flow right now. We get up here to this place I've marked, we may sit there and anchor on it a minute, throw out some baits, see what happens. So we're just out here. I having only been up here once before there last year, I'm still very inexperienced. And so we're just out here kind of playing around, winging it today. I knew we'd catch fish, but we're going to catch a bunch of fish. We're going to catch big fish. Are we catching as many fish as we could be if we were doing something else? Probably not. If I knew what the hell I was doing up here, I'm sure we'd be having a more productive day than we've had. But doing what I'm doing has caught us several fish here in the last couple hours. Oh, crap. Look at this. I'm hung on both rods, man. Both rods. Okay, that one come out. Boy, that's bad. Okay, that one come out too. That one come out on its own. I remember this area last year was very rough. It was a very rough bottom. I can't remember how far away I was from the bridge, though, off the top of my head when I found it. But I mean, it was literally stacked with fish, man. There were times I would throw out, like I would have 3 fish on the floor and was throwing out my rods. I'd land a fish, set it in the floor, rebait my rod, throw it out, while I would be trying to get the fish measured and photographed and everything for the tournament, and then I'd have another fish on that rod before I could get anything done. Like it was an insane bite for about an hour that it lasted. And I just got on a pile of them. Okay, I see my GPS waypoint. It's coming into the screen up here. So we'll head that way. Yeah, it was an insane bite. I don't know if we'll get on anything like that today or not, but it'd be awesome if we did. I thought there when we come under that bridge that we had potential for it. If all of them had been channel cats, and undoubtedly we would have been wrecking them right there, but it just, whatever they were, wasn't interested in what we had. I have to believe, I mean, if those were channel cats, even if they weren't particularly active, we should have been catching some. I mean, how can you drop down a piece of meat in a giant school like that and not get bit if it's cats? It had to be something else. There'll be some live scope expert be able to tell us, I'm sure. I see fish on the live scope. I have no idea what I'm looking at most of the time. Outside of, if I pull up on some brush and I see some crappie on there and they're stacked like perfectly on top of each other, then I kind of know, okay, that's crappie. But otherwise, like, I see fish, I have no idea what, they're fish. I can tell they're fish shape and they're moving. I can't tell you what they are though. I don't know about, obviously these channel cats will eat a moving bait as we've seen today, and obviously all of them people in the tournament last year, some of them was catching them dragging. I'm sure people were dragging in this year's tournament too. But I don't know as far as speeds go, like how fast can you drag and catch channel cats? They're obviously, I mean, I don't target channel cats ever. I just, back home, they're a nuisance. They're just something to bycatch, that you catch accidentally. But I don't know as far as, I mean, I've caught blue cats dragging up to 1 mile an hour. But I don't know about channels. I'm ready to catch one, I know that. It's been a minute. Since we reeled up to go around them boats on the other side, we ain't caught a damn thing. Caught nothing but snags and sun. It's a nice day out here. I mean, to be in the middle of summer, it's not miserable hot. Which is probably why their water temps here looks like 60. I think my initial water temperature was skewed because I just stuck my transducer down in the water. Like my graph here, I don't have the other transducer hooked up. So like if I don't have the live scope transducer down, we've got no sonar. Because I mean, I just don't use sonar that much. I pretty much use it for depth and speed. I'm not big on side scan. I've had side scan before. I just don't. I guess I'm just not good with it. I just don't care enough to learn it. What I do, the way I fish, I don't really need it. So with that graph there, the only transducer we have is just the live scope transducer. So, you know, it was there on the floor of the kayak baking. And so when I first stuck it in, I guess that skewed the temperature a little bit. But now it's 66, 67 degrees up in here, which is way cooler than back home. Back home, it's high 70s, low 80s right now, depending on where you're at. It's a rough bottom here. I mean, these rods, they keep coming across stuff. Maybe I say that, but we just come across something and don't want to give it back. Oh, come on now. I let it load up too much. There it comes. There it comes. Got lucky. I don't want to toot my own horn, but my dragging sinkers do pretty good coming through snags. Like it's rare that I lose a rig. Usually if I lose a rig, I've pulled through some wood and my hook has gotten hung in the wood. But as far as getting the actual sinker hung in something, it's rare that you can't get it back. Now there's times like earlier this morning there, I get snagged to the point I got to turn around and go get it. But usually you get on the other side of it or get on top of it, you'll pop it right free. Well, so my sinkers do really well, but it's a rough bottom here. Like there's some resistances these things are pulling across here for sure. Like it's definitely, I don't think it shows it so much on the live scope right now as we're going across, but like I can see the way my baits are pulling right now. Like it's coming across some stuff. It's meeting resistance down there. Y'all gonna be hearing my belly growling on this video before long. Them Fruit Loops don't stick with you long. Most of the time you go to a Comfort Inn, they got Raisin Bran. This one had Fruit Loops, Corn Flakes, I guess Cheerios. And of those three options, I'll take Fruit Loops, I guess. Everything else they had like fake eggs and a sausage patty and looked awful. And they had some pastries and yogurts and stuff, but I was kind of wanting some Raisin Bran this morning. Just added to my disappointment with the Comfort Inn Sandusky. Definitely don't recommend it, y'all. Normally, Comfort Inn's where it's at if you need to park a trailer. But this one here left a lot to be desired. Thankfully, though, make my drive down to Columbus today. I've got some snacks to munch. I'll probably get some lunch up here somewhere before I get on the interstate. But I do have my Bucky snack still left over, so I got some almonds and I got some beef jerky left. I got the steakhouse flavor beef jerky. That's the first time I've got that flavor. It's pretty good. You go into Buc-ee's though, man, and it's like they got a wall of beef jerky, a wall of nuts and dried fruits, and over here's popcorns, and I mean they just got everything. And it's crowded too. I mean, you're bumping into people, like it's wall to wall people, but yet I will deal with people to go into Buc-ee's. Normally, if I had to fight that kind of crowd, the only time you're going to fight that kind of crowd in a normal shopping situation back home somewhere would be on a holiday, like a Black Friday holiday sale. And you couldn't pay me to go shopping on a Black Friday. Of course, nowadays, I don't know if it's a big deal. When I was younger, people would line up out in the street, man. It'd be freezing cold. They'd be lined up at Walmart to get their $200 TV set. I don't know now with online shopping kind of having become so mainstream and taken over everything. I don't know if people do that anymore. I mean, are they camping out on the sidewalks waiting for the doors to open so they can run in there and get a Furby or Teletubby or whatever the Christmas toy is of the year? I don't know if people do that anymore. But that's the only time I can think of back home where you'd be just wall to wall people shopping. I guess the only other situation that I would be in with around that many people, just bumping into each other and can't get out of their way and they're in your way and et cetera, would probably be if you go to a ball game. And I ain't been to a Tennessee football game in a few years now. I made a decision. I'm a Tennessee football fan. For better or worse, I'm a fan. It's mostly been for worse throughout most of my life. But I made a decision a few years ago that I just wasn't going to go to the games anymore until they put a product on the field that was worth going to. Because you go to a Tennessee ball game, it's your whole day. Like, it ain't like watching on TV where you're going to spend 3.5 hours watching the game. That line come free. You spend 3.5 hours watching the game and then you go about your day. No, you go to the game, you're going to spend 3.5 hours watching the game in the stadium, but you're going to spend 1.5 hours getting to the stadium before the game, and you're going to spend 1.5 hours or 2 hours getting home afterwards, fighting traffic and crowds and all that. And so you're tying up your whole day, and then you go into the stadium and they gouge you. You're paying a ridiculous amount for the tickets. You get in there, they want to charge you $10 for a bottle of water. You want a hamburger, you want a hot dog, here's another $15. It's insane, the prices. They gouge you, and I don't like being gouged. Just like with the parking fee. If they had charged me for another hour of parking and hit me with a $10 fine, hey, I'd send them $15. When you try to gouge me, I'm gonna put my heels in the sand, and I'm gonna push back. And that's kind of the point I got with Tennessee football. I quit going to the games because I felt like I was getting price gouged, and the product they were putting on the field, we were so bad for so long. It's like, why am I giving up a whole day and paying all this money to watch this? Now, we've been better the last couple years, but it still hasn't made me want to go back. I can enjoy the game in the air condition. Maybe I'm just getting old. My younger days, I loved going to and we're right on top of that waypoint I set last year. Let's just sit here, man. I don't want to keep going this way if we're not getting bit. Let's see which way we'll probably have to reel everything in and cast out here, I guess, because it's going to spin us the other way. Yeah, let's do that. Let's reel these things in and we'll let the kayak get positioned. We'll cast out a few minutes. If this don't work though, we may have to go back over between the bridges. I mean, we were getting bit there. Not had nothing going on since we got on this side. Yeah, I just don't want to be price gouged, man. I want to, if I'm going to go and spend that kind of money and that kind of time, like I want to have a good experience. And there for a while, the product on the field with Tennessee football was so bad, but just wasn't having a good time. You just wasn't getting your money's worth, I didn't feel like. And so I just said, you know what, I'm done. I'm just not going to go. I'll watch them at home on a TV set, sit there in the comfort of my own home. If I need to go to the concession stand, guess what, my refrigerator, 10 feet away. If I need to go to the bathroom, my bathroom, 20 feet away. I ain't gotta wait in line, nothing. Get done watching the game, you got the rest of your day, do whatever you want. So, yeah. Folks, I'm spot locked right now. I'm pretty sure the current's going this way. There's a light breeze blowing this way. The spot lock has turned us into the wind. I don't know which way to cast these lines. My float's being pushed that way. Let's toss them out here in front of us, I guess. We'll just sit here a minute where I'd mark this waypoint. And if this don't work out, we'll, I guess, run back over here on the other side of the bridge. I feel like we're just running around at this point. I got no problem just going, you know, just dragging along here, but I want to, when we're covering water and we're just not getting bit, it's kind of hard to stick with it, especially when we were getting more activity over there where we were at. There was just so many boats, which I guess that's why they're there, because I guess that's where people's catching fish at. You see that back home, people get below the dams and somebody catches the fish, and well, next thing you know, there's 20 people sitting on top of each other. Personally, I don't like fishing that way. I like a little space, a little distance. I like having water myself. But we may have to go back to the other side and just, maybe we'll troll our way back to the car or something. Go that way, pick a different direction. The flow is definitely going this way though, while the wind is coming this way. So the wind is overpowering the current as far as the motor purposes go. I wish I knew though about you know, like say for instance, and this may be a thing up here, I don't know. If I was worth a damn as a fisherman, I'd have probably researched this ahead of time. But like if you go to the beach, you can look up the times of the tide. When's high tide, when's low tide, et cetera, et cetera. I would assume there has to be something similar to that up here, right? Because whatever's causing this flow, it changes. So I would assume it changes with some predictable patterns. Now, is it just so insignificant that nobody cares and that it doesn't get monitored or charted? I don't know. That's possible. Because it's not like it's a fast flow. But I mean, it's enough to be noticeable. And I'll tell you, last year, when I was on that bite right here, when the flow changed directions is when I stopped getting bit. I mean, that was the only thing that changed, was it switched. Yeah, we'll sit here a spell, and well, if it don't work out, it don't work out. Let me see where we're at on the time. Boy, I know how long we're going to sit here. Here we go. We'll give it 5-10 minutes. I'd love to know what them fish were over there by the bridge, though, the railroad bridge. Just curiosity. Just what were they? There's all a million of them like that. Now, I've seen some fish. Let's adjust our screen here. We'll take a look around with the live scope. Like, there's still some fish. I mean, like, right there's one. I'm gonna spin this thing around. We'll just take a look and see what we see. There's some fish right there on the bottom. There's some in that direction. Now, I'm just looking right now. I got this thing set 35 feet. There's some more over there. There's some. I mean, there's fish all over. Now, granted, there don't seem to be as many fish over here right now as what we saw there on the other side of the bridges, but I mean, there's still some fish around. And I've only got that thing set 35 feet looking out distance-wise. You could probably set it a little further than that. Just take this shallow. It's not going to give us a good return too much further out than that. 13 feet deep. The shallower you go with live scope, the less distance you can look out and get any kind of really see anything. I struggle a lot of times looking beyond about 50 feet regardless of depth. A lot of them bass fishermen that are catching the trophy bass using live scope, a lot of those guys are looking 100 feet. I've heard them running at like 110, 120 feet distance that they're looking out, and I'm like, how do you see anything? I can't. Live scope's just one of them things, like, man, it's a neat novelty thing. I've had fun with it at times. Like, there's been times where I've been able to target some fish specifically with lures that I see on the screen. It's been great for crappie fishing me. Like, I've caught a way more crappie with the live scope than without it. But just on a day-by-day basis, do I really care about live scope? Does it help me? No. I mean, it's got its moments, but day by day, like, I mean, hell, when I'm in my other kayak with just 2 rod holders and a basic graph, I catch a bunch of fish with it. Just knowing my depth and my speed, that's normally what I need to know to be able to catch them. You give me depth and speed, and I'm pretty good. I can make do. Give me a map card. My other graph there, even though it's basic, it's got a map card too. And like most places I fish back home, it's pretty accurate. Now you go somewhere like the Ohio River and you can take that map card and throw it in the garbage. It ain't no good at all. But back home on Tennessee River, it's pretty accurate in most places. And so you give me that along with depth and speed, man, I got everything I need. Got something going on here with our wonder if it was the kayak moving there. I'm so antsy to get a bite, I thought maybe we had a fish after it. We got that first fish on the fly, man, and I was like, buddy, it is about to be on with them flies. In my mind, I don't know how much I verbalized it, but in my mind, I was like, boy, this has really got some potential. And then we ain't caught a fish on a fly since. Like, what are the odds of that? Now, I wouldn't expect the flies in this situation to really do much, because really we've got our dragging rigs on, but we're sitting here spot lock. We've got them cast out. Those basically the fly's probably on bottom right now. The float will elevate our piece of chicken, but there's enough distance between the chicken and the fly that it's probably sitting on bottom, truth be told. So I wouldn't really expect it to be catching fish in this situation. But when we're moving and that fly is swimming along basically behind our baits, then I'm kind of more expecting it. But only one so far today with it. I don't know how many fish we got total. We were doing really well over there. And I got away from over there, and now we ain't doing no good. I feel like we're going to have to end up going back over there amongst the people. If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. This is my one day up here, so I want to make it count. I just figured I'd fish till about lunch, you know, give it 4 hours or so. It'll give me time to eat, make the 2.5 hour drive to Columbus, give me plenty enough time this afternoon with daylight left to get out and try to catch some bait or explore a little bit on there. Then have time to get off the water and go find a hotel. Plus, I thought, man, if I got on a really good bite here, I'd probably be tired of catching channel cats by the time I got done. We just ain't found that bite here yet. May not find it at all. This area here, though, man, it was covered up last year. But I think these channel cats probably, up here on the bay, they probably move quite a bit, would be my guess. I doubt they're probably, I mean, I assume they're following the food. Maybe if you find a rock pile or some object that might hold them there for a longer period of time, or as schools of fish move along and they come to those objects, they might set up there and whatnot. But out here in kind of the bay area, I wouldn't expect them to necessarily just be hanging out often. I guess that boat finally got to go through the bridge over there. He's gone. How long has it been since we've been sitting here? About 10 minutes or so, probably. What do y'all think? You want to keep going this direction? I think we need to go back. Go back the other side. If we were getting any kind of feedback at all, I would be content just making a long run, just keep going, but we're not, so. Let's just go, let's reel up and go the other side of the bridge. We'll go over there with the people. Gotta do what we gotta do, people. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Even if it ain't what you want to do, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Normally, if I'm doing these unedited, raw and uncut videos, I would like for them to be just non-stop action. But in reality, fishing isn't always non-stop action, especially if you are on a new body of water or doing something different or whatever. Sometimes you kind of gotta figure things out. And so we're out here today just trying to figure some stuff out. And right now, our figuring ain't adding up. Well, we'll go back over here on the other side of the bridge and we'll take a look around, see where the other boats are at, and we'll start pulling again. We'll try to fish our way around them. I'll be curious when we get over here again to see if there's still a pile of fish over here. I just don't know what they could be. I mean, it could be anything. But I don't think it was cats or else we'd have got bit. That bird right there could probably tell us. He's swimming around there. There was something jumped right in front of him. There seemed to be more action though. It seems like the bulk of our action came between the power lines and whatever that old jetty or whatever was up there. That area there seemed to be where the bulk of our fish came from. Our balloon rig ain't caught a damn thing. I don't know why y'all talked me into bringing that thing. I don't want to drag 3 baits just off the back of the kayak. That'll be a tangled mess. And I'd rather just not catch fish than use planer boards and spread everything out. So the balloon rig gave us an opportunity to throw out that 3rd rod without really getting in the way of stuff. Oh goodness, y'all. If yawns are contagious through the screen, I just made y'all yawn. It's the comfort in, man. I need my beauty sleep. I don't need a lot of beauty sleep, but I need quality beauty sleep, and I didn't get it last night. Got me tired today. I hope wherever I stay at in the hotel tonight, I hope it goes better. I don't know, you would think, and I guess it's just, it must just make it ridiculously more expensive when they're building these hotels, but you'd think they'd put some insulation between the walls. Like, I shouldn't be able to, if you're talking in a normal volume voice, and you're in the next room beside me, I shouldn't be able to hear your conversation, word for word. But all these hotels are like that now, man. They just don't. I guess when they're building them as cheap as possible. So there's no insulation between the walls, so you can hear conversations. You can hear the water running in the pipes. Like, you can hear everything. Kids running up down the hall, you're gonna hear it. It's hard to get a good night's sleep. Personally, I find it difficult to sleep away from home anyway, just from breaking the routine, I guess you'd say. Just being out of the norm. Well, I see 2 boats over here on the other side. That one boat we passed, he's still there. I think the other one's gone. Maybe we can go toward the, maybe be able to go to the right here. No, there's that other boat. Hell far, there's a bunch of people out here. We'll make a decision here which way we're gonna go when we get out here. Y'all duck your head again. One, two, three, 4, 5 boats. I think we're gonna go this way. I see some, them birds may just be hanging out over there on that. Let's go this way anyway. They may just be, I saw them birds, they may just be hanging out over there. Let's get our speed set. I thought them birds might have been working some bait or something, but I think they were just hanging out. Okay, here we go. And a backlash. Boy, y'all can't cast for nothing today. I don't know why I let you cast that. Just going to backlash. Let that one let out, some line. We get our other one out. Okay. Let's cast this one out. Yeah, back over here, a little bit deeper water, 17 feet here. I think we're going to try to go around these people and just go back through this area again where we were getting bit. I mean, we got bit through here, we got away from it, we stopped getting bit, so let's just try to focus where the fish are at. A little bit more line on this. Okay, now let's get our balloon rig back out, which I don't know, again, I don't know why y'all brought this damn thing if you ain't gonna catch a fish on it. We might as well set it out though, we got it here. They ain't caught us ain't had a bite on it all morning. I thought for sure we might get a drum or something up, something higher in the water column. Okay, I thought we was hung on the other rod over here. Got our hands full with all these rods, y'all. Wouldn't hurt you to help me for a minute, getting stuff set out and whatnot. Boy, here comes another train, man. They're moving some stuff today. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on with these trains. I don't know what all kind of product they move through here. All right, there's our balloon back out. We're fishing again, finally. We'll head up this way, and I see 4 boats right here, 5. We'll just try to work our way around them. That's all we can do. Everybody's kind of bunched up together here, but I mean, that's where the fish seem to be at. There we go, got out of that snag. Yeah, you know, we'll fish here another hour or so. And that's probably all I'll film, is about another hour. Anyway, I may stay out a little longer than that if I'm on a bite or something. I kind of want to go around these. You see out here these big power lines in front of me? There's all these bases. Last year I'd marked some fish around the bases of them things. So I'll probably just go through, even if I don't fish. Once we're done here this morning, I'll probably on my way back to the car, just take the live scope and scan. Just take a look. Even if I don't fish, just take a look. I'm just curious what's around those. Last year there was a bunch of algae along those bases. And I caught one carp over there. I just couldn't. I tried carp fishing, but I couldn't keep the kayak still. The way the wind was blowing that particular day. As this train goes by. Well, they must have two tracks, or else we're about to have a head-on collision here. All right, there's two tracks. I thought we was about to witness a head-on collision here by two trains. All kinds of graffiti all over them trains. You'd think of these kids, if they got enough talent, I don't even know if y'all can hear me talk right now. It's so damn loud, them trains. Hell, I ought to be filming the trains though, because that's more entertaining than watching me not catch fish right now. You see all that graffiti on there? You'd think if these kids was talented enough to be able to spray paint this graffiti and draw stuff, they could do something productive with their lives. But all they do is spend all damn day, apparently, doing drugs and spray painting trains. It's still going. That's a long train, man. Long train. 2 long trains. That's been an active morning for them. I mean, I don't know how many trains normally come through here, but I feel like we've seen more trains go by today than what I would see on train tracks back home. I wonder how much it costs to have something hauled on a train. I mean, I would assume if you're having something transported by train, it's probably like raw material stuff. Coal or steel or something like that. Something heavy. I wonder what it would cost. If you called up, I don't even know the name of these train companies, but if you called them up and you were like, I want to rent a car on your train. I guess that's what they're called, a car? Train car? But if you called up one of these train companies and said, hey, I want to rent one train car to haul stuff, I wonder what that would cost, or if it would even be possible. It may not even be possible to rent one. You may have to rent the whole train. I don't know how that works. We're going into the current now. And right now we're going like 0.3, 0.4. I'm going to go a little slower this time. Obviously we went faster going that direction. We weren't getting bit. Half a mile an hour caught us some fish earlier. Let's try to go just a smidge slower and see what that'll do for us. You know, we got that when we first made the turn over here, when we started coming back. We threw out our lines, went to flip the bell over, and we got a fish there. So that bait was pretty much setting still at the time. We'll try going a little slower. and just see what happens. I mean, like I said, folks, we're experimenting. It'll either work or it won't. That fellow over there in the boat's reeling one in, though. They're busting out a net for it. I brought my net with, not right now, but I brought it for the carp. So it's in the car, seeing my car's not been vandalized over there. Better not be for a $10 fee. $10 to use a damn boat. I wonder how much money they make on that. I bet it's pretty good. I bet you they make a few $100 a day. I mean, every 10 vehicles is $10, so let's say they get 30 to 50 vehicles a day. That's $300 to $500. That's a pretty good racket, especially when it's just a. Well, I put money in a drop box because the time I got out here, they got a little. It's like a little building. I guess they sell stuff in there, convenience store, which you would pay during normal hours, but you could run that little building a one-man operation. They're running 8 hours a day. Like, that's a pretty good operation just for not counting the money they're going to make in the building. Selling stuff, so it's a pretty good operation they got going on. You'd think, though, what they're charging people, they'd get out there and clean the dead fish off that damn thing. Nothing but stinking drum and channel cats dead everywhere. This must be the place to be, though, man. I mean, all the boats we've seen, they're all right here. They're all fishing right here to the left of us. We're just going to try to take this line here to the right and give them some space and pull right by them, hopefully. I don't imagine any of them have casted very far from where they're at. I think they're all anchor fishing. Which I'm not opposed to just spot locking and setting here. I'd like to see a pile of fish to do it, or be on some, you know. Thus far, when we've seen fish, a pile of fish, it didn't pay off. And we tried anchoring over there on the other side where I'd marked that waypoint last year, and didn't do any good there anchoring, so kind of feel better just being on the move, I guess, but it's been a long time since we got a bite now. Now, it is later in the morning. I don't know if that's playing a role or not. The sun's up higher. But we did just watch them fellas over there reel one in. My belly growls. This is an interesting body of water, though. It's and you know what? Here's something I'm honestly surprised about. And I don't want to give anybody any ideas or anything, and it may not work out anyway. But I'm honestly, as popular as catfishing is in Ohio. Oh, here's a fish. Here's one. My gosh, look at here. It's been forever, y'all. It's been forever. We got another one. Hot diggity dog, we got us one. I forgot what it was like. These channel cats hate me, man. I've talked so much crap about them my whole life that now I'm up here in the Mecca and can't catch one. They're refusing to bite my baits. And then I'm gonna reel this fish in. I'm gonna tell you a really bad idea, really bad, that I can't believe somebody ain't already done. This fish is thrashing around here on the surface back here. It's a channel, but I think something's up with this. Is he foul hooked? Is he lassoed in the line. Like, I don't know what's up. No, he's just letting me reel him in. He's not even fighting. He comes straight up to the surface. That fish didn't fight at all. He still ain't fighting. I'm at a loss here, people. I'm at a loss. He's just completely, he's not done a damn thing. Now he's gonna act out. He's got that stinger in the belly, but I was like, that was so odd. Like, he didn't. That was the weakest fighting channel cat I've ever caught. He's another small one, but I mean, he didn't fight at all. Not at all. I mean, he comes straight to the surface, and I just reeled him in pretty much. That was odd. That was very odd. I mean, normally channel cats fight very hard for their size. It's good to catch another one anyway, though. Gosh, it's been forever. Okay, let's get that back out. But here's the thing, y'all. Here's where I was going with this terrible idea that's nobody should do. But I have to believe, as popular as catfishing is in Ohio, that somebody's probably done it a little bit, is with channel cats being the only, and maybe some flatheads, a few flatheads in here, with them being the only, I thought I had another fish on that rod. With them being the only catfish in here, I'm surprised somebody hasn't put some blues in here illegally. Like, you know, catch them somewhere else, put them in their boat live well, come over here and dump them out. Now, I don't know. Obviously, that's illegal. Definitely wouldn't recommend anybody doing that. It's a good way to cause some problems to an ecosystem, but I'm surprised nobody's done it. And maybe they wouldn't thrive here. Maybe they wouldn't with water conditions and whatnot. I don't know if they would or not. But I'm surprised nobody's tried it. Because catfishing in Ohio, I mean, it's very popular. Like, I see more catfishermen up here when I've come up than what I do when I'm fishing back home. And usually when I see people fishing back home, it's oftentimes people from Ohio that's come down to where I live to fish. Like, I mean, it's very popular up here. Back home, people are bass fishermen. Everybody bass fishes back home. Up here, I assume people bass fish up here too, but I don't think it's as popular. I think a lot of people up here focus on catfishing. But I have to believe at some point somebody's dumped some in here, just hoping they'd take off. But the fact that there's not, there's somebody over there that's got a fish on too. It's the other boat. Oh hell, this guy's waving. I'm waving back, buddy, that's enough. I ain't looking for social interaction today. I done waved at him once when we come through. But the fact that there ain't any blues in here is probably why they... Hold on. What's that? That's the guy, man. Yeah. Y'all doing any good? Well, thanks. They watch the channel, apparently. I'm sure they're nice people. Y'all know who I am, though. I'm always weird about that. My social skills, I always try to be nice to people. My social skills are piss poor, though. The longer I've been removed from working a real job, the more terrible my social skills have become. I need to be better at that. Everybody I always meet out places are always super nice. Oh, 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 oh. I think he's got it. Yeah, he does have it. He does. Let's reel us in another one, by gosh. This one's gonna pull a little bit now. This one's bigger. This one's bigger right here, folks. Oh, he's swimming to the right too. He's gonna get in our other lines. This is a better one right here. This one's significantly better. I hope he just didn't get my other line over there though. He went that direction. This is definitely a better fish right here, man. Buddy, this is solid. Now, obviously, the kayak's still moving, so we got a little resistance, plus we're going into the current here. But I mean, he feels good. This one feels really good, y'all. I'm just gonna take my time with him. About all I can do. God, has he got me in something now? Oh man, he's got me. He's still on. He's still on, but I think he's got me in something. I feel him on there, but I think I'm wrapped up in something. I don't know what's up with this, man. There's no way this fish is so big that I can't get him in. I think I'm gonna have to go back. I think he's in something. No, I see him back there. I don't know what's up with this. Am I reeling in something with him? Do I have two of them on? Is one of them on the fly and one of them on the... That could be it. I may have two fish on. I may have one on the fly and one on the hook. I see one. It's a big fish. Maybe I've got him foul hooked. I don't know. This is weird. This whole situation's been weird. I've got him foul hooked. That's what it is. That's a good fish, though. It's a good fish that I foul hooked. I've got him with the fly. I've got him with the fly. That's a dang good channel cat, though, man. Look at this thing right here, y'all. That's why he felt like he was snagged, because I had him run through the dang belly somehow or another. I don't know if we can land this thing or not. May pull the hook out trying to lift him up. See if I can get him by the tail, maybe. There we go. Yeah. Kid asked me if I was making a video. I hate to be a smart aleck and be like I got a camera right here and a camera mount up in front of me. I got to be better with people, y'all. My people skills struggling today. It's because I'm tired. Well, I've give that fish a scar on his belly there, or on his tail, but that's pretty good. Let me set y'all up here. Y'all take a picture of that fish for me. Nice. Nice one right there, man. Nice channel cat. If such a thing exists. That's debatable. If only he hadn't been foul hooked. He started out fighting really well. I just couldn't figure out what was causing him to feel that way, and damn thing's foul hooked. Piece of chicken there still looks pretty good. Let's rehook it. Send it back out. As I backlash a little bit. The helicopter's flying low. What he's doing. Let's get back on track here. If them people are still out on my way back, I'll stop by and talk to them. I'm always funny about that, especially now that I'm doing all these unedited videos. It's like, when people come up to me or holler at me while I'm out here, it's kind of disruptive to what I'm doing, plus the fact I don't ever want to talk to anybody. But it is, you know, I always try to take time for people. If I'm at a boat ramp or something, or somebody sees me at a gas station, whatever, I always take time for pictures and whatever it is they want. But on the water, if I'm filming, if I'm actively filming, and people come up, then it's, or they wave and they want me to come over, it's like, you know, I don't know. I need a better, back when I was doing edited videos, it wasn't a big deal. I could just go over and talk for a few minutes and then go back doing what I'm doing. But when I'm doing unedited, that's, the casual viewer don't want to see that. You know, they're tuning in to see fishing. We'll have to figure out a solution with it, though, especially in fishing places like this where it's you're just forced to be around people. I mean, there's a lot of boats out here. I'm seeing, there's those two, here comes one, there's two more up there below the bridge, there's another one over here, this guy over here. I mean, there's a lot of boats here for this small an area. Which clearly, I mean, this is where we're getting bit. This is apparently the place to be. I don't know what kind of boat that is. I hope it ain't a game warden boat, since I'm not 100% sure I got a license. That's gonna be the first thing I do when I get back to the car, is I'm gonna make sure that my license is active, and if not, I'm gonna make sure I get that remedied. I don't know what a person would get fined for that kind of thing. Back home, I don't ever have to worry about any kind of fines because we don't have any game wardens. You got a better chance of seeing Bigfoot than you do a game warden back home, but go out to other states and stuff that's better funded. I don't know. I don't know. The only fine I ever remember hearing about back home was like if you had an undersized fish, like a crappie or something. It was like $130. It wasn't a bad amount or anything, but I don't know about fishing without a license. I guess if you were driving without a license, it'd take you the pokey. I don't know about fishing without a license. Yeah, if them people are still over there, I'll swing by on my way back and chat with them. I just hate to, I never know what to say in these situations when people, sometimes, if like I had a bass fisherman on a trip recently. He hollered at me, started talking, and in that kind of situation, you're kind of forced to conversate. But like out here with these guys, there's so much distance between us. We're going to have to yell. I've got this microphone on. If I'm yelling into a microphone, I'm creating a bad experience for the audience. And so that's no good. For me to go over and talk to them, I got to reel up my lines and go over there. Well, again, unedited video, that takes away from what we're doing. So I don't really know how to handle that situation. I feel like just saying hi and waving should be sufficient most of the time, but we waved and then they still wanted to talk. So I don't really know what's appropriate. If they're watching this video and you're those guys, I apologize. Because I don't know how I'm supposed to be. Try and film a video here. Oh, look at all this nastiness there on the water, man. Look at all that mess. That's just film and gunk, and it's probably why my allergies are so tore up out here today. I wonder what's significant about, if I stop and talk to them fellas on the way back, if they're still there, I'm going to ask them, what's significant about that line that they're on? Because they're there, this boat's here, and you got two more down there, and they're all kind of like in a straight line with each other down through there. Like, I wonder what's significant about that particular, like that line. Like, what's special about it? I mean, it could be coincidence, I guess, but it just seems odd that they're all kind of in a line down through there. I think that boat, I don't know if you can even see him, I think he's drifting. He keeps kind of making his way down that direction. The wind is blowing, the wind has shifted, it's blowing that direction now, so he may just be drifting with the wind. He's behind that jetty, so the current's probably not affecting him right now. We're still kind of going into the current here, the direction we're going. Comes another train. Boy, they're active. Yeah, y'all, this morning's trip here, Sandusky Bay. Definitely wouldn't have won any tournaments out here this morning with the fish that I've got thus far. You could make a strong argument that it wasn't worth the extra 2-hour or so drive to come up here. But I thought, what the heck? The wind, again, it was supposed to be up a little bit on Hoover this morning, and for some reason perfectly calm up here. So it was a good opportunity to come check it out and catch us a few of these danged old channel cats. And we've caught a few. I don't know how many we've got now. I don't know, what, 8 or 10 probably? As that rod there was getting snagged. I guess we've probably had around 8 or 10 channel cats total. Somewhere thereabouts. Got a few good ones. Definitely something, I mean, to come up and do it one day when I'm going to be in Ohio anyway, worthwhile. I just don't really have a great desire to come up here. I wouldn't want to come up here and spend a week, necessarily. I feel you could learn a lot up here, fishing in a week. But I wouldn't really want to put a great deal of time into it. But for one day, it's nice to get up here and see some different water and catch some different fish. I don't have an opportunity. I mean, what's one thing for sure? Like, I don't have an opportunity to catch these size channel cats back home. I mean, half of the channel cats we've got out here today would be my PB channel cat in Tennessee. Like, it's just, we just don't grow them that big back home. And if we do, you just don't catch them very often. Or maybe you do catch some bigger channel cats and they get confused for blues or something. That's possible, depending on what color they are and all that. But definitely, I mean, this fishery, though, I mean, world-renowned for the channel cats. I haven't made it look very good today with the fish that I've caught and how few I've gotten, but definitely a world-renowned fishery for both numbers and size of fish. You hear lots of stories of people coming out and having 100 fish days out here. I believe it after what I experienced last year in the tournament. Just haven't got on that kind of bite today. I think when last year in the tournament, Daniel won it, and he won it on a rock pile. He anchored on a rock pile all day. I'm pretty sure Ryan was going to that spot this year, but I don't know if he was able. We've texted, but I haven't like talked to him in depth since the tournament, so I don't know what he done for sure, but and I'm sure he'll have a video on his channel going over everything. But I don't know if where they went last year, if the wind was going to allow them to go this time. I don't know. I don't know if it was going to be possible to get out there or not with the waves and the wind and everything. So I don't know what he ended up doing. But Daniel had sat on that damn rock pile for 8 hours last year and just would periodically have a school of fish come through. And my best fish in there, I was dragging in the tournament, but then when I got on that school of fish, I sat there and just cast to them. And so, and it seems like, you know, all these boats out here that we're seeing, they're all anchored right now, except for that one that I thought he was drifting. Now he's motoring now. He may have just been retying or something. Who knows? But it seems like the regular, you know, in our tournament, guys are coming from all over. And so in a tournament situation, people typically fish what they're good at or what they're comfortable with. And so you get a lot of people dragging, you get people anchoring, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like the locals that fish up here, it seems like most of them anchor and cast baits out. So that may be the better play, is to have spots marked, or fish are either going to be moving through, or there's something different or unique about it, like a rock pile or object, or maybe around some of these power pole bases and all that. That may be the better play. But, I mean, for what we've done out here today, obviously I wish we had got more and bigger. Of course, I want that every single trip I go out, but I'm not. I'm not unhappy with the results. I mean, anytime you go somewhere you're not real familiar with and you can have some success, I feel like you're walking away a winner in a sense. So I'm not unhappy with how the day has gone. I wish obviously we got more fish and some bigger ones. But some of them channel cats we've got's been pretty dang good, man. I'm not a channel cat fisherman. Outside of this situation, obviously back home, I hope I never catch another channel cat again. But up here, when you're trying to catch channel cats to get the quality of some of them that we've got today, I'm content with that. I just got to figure out a way to better socially interact with people on these unedited videos. If a bass fisherman, again, the bass fisherman the other day, he was close enough to me we were able to just chat for a minute before he went on. But it's hard when you got people that's a good distance away and they're waving and they're hollering. I don't want to yell into the microphone. There goes the bald eagle. He's being chased by a little bird. Every time I see a bald eagle out on the water, bald eagles are the symbol of American freedom. They're supposed to be representative of America, yet every time I see one, they're getting chased by a significantly smaller bird. Every time. I'm going to ask the falconer, if I get to fish with him, I'm going to ask the falconer why bald eagles are such pansies. Because they're always getting chased by a smaller bird. Yeah, I got to figure out a solution. I guess in theory I could cut the video off and go talk to somebody for a little while and then start it back up. But then it's not really unedited at that point. It's not really, the premise of these videos is to bring you all with me raw and uncut, like unedited. And so it's always a pain in the butt when, if I was using the GoPro and I had camera overheat a few weeks ago, that was a problem. To go back and throw that stuff together, it's better for me to leave the camera rolling for 3 or 4 hours. And I think it's better for you, the audience, to leave it, at least for those of you that like to come along with these videos, to leave it rolling for 3 or 4 hours. But I can't be yelling across to people 200 yards away. But I got to come up with a solution for it because people do recognize me out on the water sometimes. Usually when I get recognized, it's at a boat ramp. Like I'm either launching or I'm loading up at the end of the day. And I can sit there, or a gas station, I can sit there and talk to people. And in that situation, it's not a problem. But if I'm filming, I got to come up with a solution for that. It was never a problem when I was doing the edited videos, but I don't have a desire to ever do edited videos again. I really don't. I like this format. It suits me better. It's freed up a ton of time. I have so much more time that I'm not spending editing. And for some strange reason, these videos do better than my edited videos. I had a guy the other day. He's been a long-time viewer. I've interacted with him numerous times, live streams and just regular YouTube comments. But he wrote a lengthy. Anytime I get a paragraph or more in the comment box, I know there's no good going to come from it. And he was a long-time viewer, and he was pissed that I've stopped doing the edited videos. He says I'm boring, I'm lazy, and he said I had lost my way. He said I had lost my way. And I thought, you sorry sack of dog shit. Who the hell are you to tell me what my way is to begin with? If anything, I feel like for the first time in ages, I found my way, because for the first time in a long time, I've actually enjoyed doing YouTube again, coming out. I just got so burnt out having to edit all the damn time. And it's like when I stopped editing and started doing the type of videos, and when I stopped catering to the damn algorithm and just went fishing to do what I want to do when I want to do it, a funny thing happened. My views spiked. I'm at all-time highs on my channel. Like, my views the last 3 months have been all-time highs. So while that asshole says I've lost my way, I feel it's the exact opposite. I feel like I finally found my way. So he can get the hell on. I don't care if he has been here for years. I'm sick and tired of these people trying to tell me, like, who the hell is he to tell me how I should do things on my channel? I don't owe him shit. He's had 8 years worth of free content. It doesn't give him the right to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. And, you know, and look, I get a lot of people out there have enjoyed my channel the way it was for a long period of time. And those people have had a hand in getting me here to where I'm at today, so I'm certainly grateful for them. But when they write a paragraph-long complaint and kind of passive-aggressively attack me in the process, like this guy, he said I was boring, I was lazy, lost my way, and made it, and worded it in such a way like I owed him something. You know, I just don't, that just don't fly with me. It pisses me off. Like, I'm not going to cater to people like that. I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm not going to do that. I've never been the type of person that's going to cater to those people. And here's the thing. The people, and this certainly, I'm going to sound like I'm attacking everybody who likes the edited videos, and I'm not, but it's something I've noticed, a trend. The people who like the edited videos that I used to do, the 15 to 30 minute long videos, if anytime I would do something different, whether I'm filming a carp trip, doing a live stream, doing one of these unedited, raw and uncut videos, anytime I step outside the box of what I had been doing for them, they start griping and complaining in the comment box. We don't tune in for this. This ain't what we want. Why don't you do it this, blah, 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 blah. It's just complain. But here's the thing. The people who like these raw and uncut videos, the people who like the live streams, the people who tuned in to film my channel via the carp videos, when I do something different from what they enjoy, like if I make a normal edited video, they're not getting on there complaining that I'm not going live or I'm not doing an unedited video or whatever. You know, they either don't say nothing at all or they go about their day. I don't know what it is about the people who like the edited videos feeling so entitled that I should just be catering to them exclusively. I just don't get it. You know, there's YouTubers that I've watched that I enjoy certain things they do and other things they don't. If I click on a video and it's a type of, maybe they're doing something that I'm not interested in, I just click off. Or if I see it's something I'm not going to be interested in to begin with, I never click on it. I don't understand the people that's going to get in a YouTube comment box and just gripe and complain. Like, I just don't. And I don't care if it's your first day with me or you've been with me for 8 years like that one fella. You start complaining and you can kiss your ass goodbye in the comment box. Like, I just don't tolerate it. I'm not going to pander to those people. And it may, listen, I know it may cost me viewers. And I'm fully willing to lose them because I would rather not get the click, not get the view, than have to deal with somebody complaining about how I do things. You know, I'm just, people think they're your boss or something, but if you ain't signing my paychecks, you ain't paying my bills, you ain't telling me what to do. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm gonna piss off everybody today. I am gonna go try to make things right with these people in this other boat over here, and I get out of here in a few minutes. So I'm gonna try to at least sit there and talk with them a few minutes. And I'll apologize to them for not coming over and talking with them immediately. The wind's picking up, y'all. It's hitting me from the back here. It's kind of, it was kind of going that direction. Now it's hitting me dead from the back. I got that motor set on cruise control setting, so it compensates. We got it set, I think I had it like 0.4. So it, I think we got one on here, folks. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. I thought we was going to get us another one. But that motor compensates. If you're running into current or the winds, say the wind's gusting into your face or something, the motor will speed up to keep your speed. In this situation, with the wind hitting us from the back, the motor will slow down so that we maintain that speed. It's one of those very helpful tools with that motor and the GPS system in it. Most of the time you get one of those motors, and usually with me, spot lock's what I use the most frequently. But when I do troll or drag or whatever, I do use that speed control oftentimes. It's a very helpful tool. The downside, I guess, if there is one to the cruise control, is that you can only use it while you're using the course heading feature. Like I've got it kind of pointed to keep us on this line here. There are times when I'm skipjack fishing, for instance, and I'm trolling, it would be nice to be able to maintain my speed without having to be locked into a specific direction. But that's one of the minor things to work around. Where are we at on the time here? Lord, have we really been at this? Has it really been almost 4 hours? It don't seem like it. What time's it getting to be? Yeah, it's just after noon right now. I got out here kind of late, because not super late, but they didn't start serving breakfast till 6:30 at the hotel, which I could have missed out on that and wouldn't have missed a thing. But I wasn't in a super rush to get out here, because I mean, obviously, usually in the summer months, you have a morning bite and then it kind of tapers off. But I didn't think out here it would be as big a deal as far as tapering off the bite, because, I mean, the other day in the tournament, man, people were submitting fish all day long. I think if you're on them, you're on them. If you're not, you're not. I probably will here. I'll probably cut the video off here soon, because my battery's about dead. Its battery in my battery pack's perfect, because it makes it about 4 hours. But I'm probably just I'll probably fish my way down here to the bridge. I'll probably go all the way to the bridge this time, and then probably call it a day. Go talk to that kid, or I don't know how the hell old he was. Talk to them. I may scan these power lines down, depending on how long I talk to them people. I may scan them power lines with the live scope, and then get out of here and make the drive down to Columbus and try to find me some bait for cats tomorrow. Got to reach out to the falconer. I hope he's able to fish. I got so many questions about falconry. We're going to have a good time with him, even if he is a cop. Yeah, y'all, I guess we're coming up on the 4 hour mark here. My battery's about dead. I'll probably go ahead and cut this video off, get me a little off-camera fishing time here just to get down to the bridge. I can't tell if them fellas over there is reeling one in or if they just reeling in their baits. I think they're just reeling in their baits. There's something about that, man. There's literally, I'm telling you, man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats down that way, all in that same line right there. Something about that line. I gotta learn about that. Yeah, anyway, y'all, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for coming with me today. You know, this trip, I feel like it was semi-successful. I mean, I'm not displeased. Again, I wish I could have got more. I wish I could have got bigger, but I wish that every trip. But I mean, we got 8 or 10 fish probably with some better quality channel cats mixed in. It is nice to be able to fish with chicken and have confidence that you're going to get some good quality fish. Maybe I should have used shrimp today, I don't know. But either way, I mean, the chicken worked. And lost one rig, only got snagged up to the point we had to go back for one. So I mean, it's been a pretty good day. Whether or not it was worth the extra 2-hour drive to come up here, you know, we can have that debate. But it's nice just to get some different scenery, do something different. So it was good from that perspective, and a damn good day to be here with the wind like it is. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, you get a wind 10, 15 plus miles an hour, you're in for a bad time. It's gonna be rough and choppy, which is conditions I don't want to be in this kayak. As this boat goes by. Y'all wave at them. I'm peopled out today, man. We done seen too many boats in here. You know you're in the right spot though when there's this many people fishing an area. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to fish my way up here to the bridge, I guess. I'll run back here and see if them people are still over here and holler at them a minute. And then I'm just curious. I want to scan these power pole bases and just see what's there. Just curiosity. I'm probably not going to fish them because I want to get to Hoover down there in Columbus with enough time to get some bait this afternoon, but I'm just curious what's there. And yeah, y'all, so hopefully, if things go well, hopefully next video will be from Hoover, either carp fishing or cat fishing. Ideally, like to do both. But yeah, hopefully that'll be the next trip. So anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up. And yeah, thanks for coming along with me, y'all. Appreciate you. Those of you that like these videos, I appreciate you watching. And most importantly, I appreciate you being positive. Unlike a lot of these people that are blasting me down in the comment box because God forbid I do something different. That rod got, are we going to get one more here before we? I guess not. I guess I'm imagining things. All right, well, anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one.